And welcome everybody to the Jim Masters Show Live. How are you and you and you and you from all around the world? Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to our Tuesday night broadcast. That's right. We've got an amazing guest here for you. If you're joining us for the very first time, I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is a live, daily, interactive entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we created 22 weeks ago. Seems like even more than that because we do shows every single night live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here, streaming and simulcasting on YouTube at Jim Masters TV and also on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, as well as on Periscope and Twitch at Jim Masters TV as well. We welcome everybody. If this is your first time checking us out, we're all about light, love, and levity, or as we have coined on this broadcast series, levity. That's right. And that happened by mistake. I was saying love and levity together without realizing I was. And then we said the word levity, and that blew up. Everybody said, keep that word. This show has so much levity. We're going to call you Mr. Levity. And all the viewers are levities. All the guests, the viewers, immediately induct them into Levity Hall, as they call it. It's pretty cool because with everything going on in the world, we could all use some more brightness, some more sunshine, some more friendliness, warmth, and some levity, right? We get into some really good conversations here in the show. We have great entertainment. Whenever we talk about food, everything blows up. Everybody loves when we talk about food. That's a biggie here on this show. But our guests come from a wealth of endeavors, from celebrity friends and television and radio, music, film, Broadway, Hollywood, science, health, wellness, culinary arts, sports, comedy, and inspiration, spirituality, literally everything, authors and writers, really cool stuff. And when we don't have guests, we have terrific conversations, host chats, on location segments, and we did a whole 2-hour foodie festival one of the Sundays where we all talked about food and everybody sent in their recipes and we were eating together. Really, really cool. We do special shows at special times in addition to our nightly show as well. We do extra bonus shows too. Last Saturday, we did 2 shows in one day, one at 1 in the afternoon, one at 7 at night. If you're watching for the first time, I work in this industry professionally as a television and radio personality, host, presenter, journalist, actor, writer, producer, voiceover artist, stage MC. And it was back in early May when I said, you know what, let's get the television lights together, let's build a home studio, and let's present something like this. Because for years in the industry, people have asked me to do something like this, the Jim Masters Show, because I've hosted so many different kinds of TV and radio shows over the years, nationally and regionally and locally. So here we are, and we're so excited. And as always, here on our show, we do things in style, so we like to toast our viewers all around the world. So in our fancy glass, we toast you and you and you and you and you. We just have a little lemonade iced tea combo in here, just something light for a busy, busy Tuesday. Hope you guys are doing well as well. Time to sip your glass. Hopefully you have it handy. That's refreshing because I haven't had a sip of anything for hours. I've been just so busy, working on all the shows that we have coming up. We're very excited to announce that coming in November, legendary and renowned Irish musician and songwriter and record producer Phil Coulter. That's right, the one and only legendary, renowned Phil Coulter is going to be a guest on our show coming in November. Melissa Manchester is going to be here on the show as well. We've got a bevy of extraordinary people from all walks of life that are joining us here. I guess what's happening is people are telling each other about the show. People are watching the show on YouTube because all the episodes are there, and they're liking the vibe. They're liking what we do here, and that really moves my heart because that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain and inform and educate and put smiles on your faces as well. Let's our cast of characters are here. We have a cast of characters. We'll show them a little bit later in the broadcast. But I do want to welcome our audience from all around the world. Mary Bishop is here. Good to see you, Mary. Welcome, Jim and Natalie, all the lovities. It promises to be another great show with wonderful conversation. Natalie is our very special guest, Natalie Douglas, and she is extraordinary. She's also a fan of our show. She watches whenever she can, which I really, really appreciate that. And she loves the vibe too, and that's why she said when we approached her about coming on, she immediately said, "Absolutely, where and when." So we put it all together. Christine Clifton, North Carolina says, "Good evening, Jim and Lovity friends. We welcome phenomenal singer and actress Natalie Douglas to the show tonight. We are excited to hear the fabulous music and entertaining conversation soon. You got it. That is what's coming up." Linwood Miller watching on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. We hope you subscribe to the channel too, and click that notification bell so you can keep abreast of not only this series, but all the other types of content we put on that channel. And we have some really cool things we're doing with the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Good to see you, Linwood, as well. And Sharon DeMaria is here from Connecticut. Happy Tuesday evening, everyone. Good to see you as well, Sharon. Mary Bishop says, "Hello, everybody. Good to see you as well." Bernadette is here, Bernadette Vidal. "Good evening, Jim and all the Lovities. Nice to see you, Bernadette." And Wozniak is here on YouTube. Hi, Jim and everyone. Willie is here from the Netherlands, from Europe, from beautiful Amsterdam, Holland. Good to see you as well. Beautiful to see you as well, Willie. Hope your day's going well. I know it's late. It's 1 a.m. where you are in Amsterdam. Kathy Short, good evening, Jim, and our Lovity family from Cleveland, Ohio. We love that. You always watch all the time. From South Africa, Juanita is here. Hello, Jim and everyone. Good to see you. I love that photo that you sent me of the stuffed animal with your daughter. We're going to add that this weekend to our show with a special episode. Thank you for sharing that as well. And you saw, because we added one of our cast of characters, which isn't on the set right now because it's too big. But Lin Lin, the panda, which was sent to me as a birthday gift from a dear friend, that's like this big. And we debuted it over the weekend. And sitting over there on one of the couches, watching the show, watching me do the show. But Lin Lin is here. Hello to all the Lovelies from Willie, Karen Ianni in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hello to you, and congratulations once again for your retirement after 43 years working for the University of Pittsburgh. Job well done, Karen. Now you can breathe. Avril Britton in the United Kingdom and Hampshire in England. She's tuning in, joining us from Europe as well. Hi, Jim and all the Lovelies on here. Hope you all had a good day. Absolutely. I know it's like midnight, after midnight where you are, so we really appreciate you tuning in live as well, because you can see all these episodes on Jim Masters TV at YouTube, but everybody likes to tune in live because of the interactivity we have on the show. From San Diego, California, hello everyone, all the Lovelies. Let us join together at Lovity Hall. Hi there, Mr. Lovity. Good to see you, Dante, as always. Anastasia Renee is here. Good to see you as well, with a nice smile, watching on YouTube. You like the jacket? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is, I've worn this on TV, I think on public television, but I've also worn this emceeing at MGM Resorts International for their events over the years. So thank you very much, Willie. Oh, good to see you as well, Pilar. Really wonderful to see you. Hello, Jim and everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well there in New York and Westchester County. Miss you. I remember the last time we did that fantastic concert for the earthquake victims in Italy. Remember? And I emceed it, and we had those wonderful performers. That was beautiful. Christopher Joseph in Ohio. Hello, Jimbo and all Lovelies. Good to see you. Wichita, Kansas, reporting for duty. Maryland. Good evening, Jim and all Lovelies. From Brazil, Carla is here. Good to see you. Hello, gang. Hello, Jim. Good to see you. I just want to let you know that we have some more people coming on as guests from the neighboring country. Remember, we had Ramiro on live, the singer from Argentina. We have some more special guests coming in from Argentina, and hopefully we'll get some in from Brazil too. Spread the word. I know you always do, Carla. Good to see you in South America, and good evening to you. I think it's like 8:15 where you are. You're only an hour ahead of us. Hello, Kathleen Walker in New York City. Nice to see you as well. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Christopher. The jacket's scoring a lot of points, as much as the panda. Good evening, Ralph, watching in Indiana. Good evening, all the Lovities. Nice to see you as well. Jim Masters, Lovities, and Lovettes. I like that. We haven't used that. Yeah, Lovities, Lovettes. We sort of incorporated it all into Lovity, but you could break it out if you want to. Everybody saying hello to everybody. Thank you, Merlin, in beautiful Canada, our neighbors to the north. Nice to see you as well. And nice, nice to see Natalie too. Hi, Natalie. I'll see you in a second. I love it. She's on YouTube as well. Renee in Iowa is here as well. And hello, the Lovities. She's going to say a live hello to all the Lovities in just a second. And I like that everyone is liking everyone else's greetings. Such a village. That's what happens. Everybody greets everybody. You know, hi, Willie. Hi, Renee. Hi, this. It's really amazing. All of you toasting when I toast all of you. That's usual here on the show, and everybody's welcoming everybody. Danilo is here from San Diego. Welcome to Levity Hall, aka Mr. Levity. Absolutely. We got Manhattan here reporting for duty. Fantastic. Absolutely. In Manhattan. We love that. Kathy says this is so exciting. I love listening. Yeah, Phil Coulter is going to be great. I'll keep you posted on that. That's coming in November. Cheers. Jennifer from Colorado. Good to see you once again from beautiful Colorado. I was on a TV shoot last year there in Denver and Red Rocks. And from Southern California, SoCal. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to another wonderful show. Thank you very much. Queens. You're in Queens, too. Good to see you in Queens. Absolutely. We got a couple of viewers actually here that are watching from Queens right now as well. Marge Swift. Hi, Marge. I've known you for years. You used to listen to me on iHeartRadio. It's good to see you watching this show. Oh, yes, Talent Express. Now we're making that connection. Yes, I've done work for Talent Express, commercials and voiceover work. Good to see you guys. Soraya, good to see you as well. And Jennifer Barry is here. And make it rain. We make it sunny here on our show. All right, gang, we have a very special guest. Keep the comments coming. I know you guys love to comment and you love to share all your wonderful comments with us, and we appreciate that. And it's good to have all of you here on the show. I want to tell you about our very special guest. That's right. It's going to be a wonderful evening of conversation and levity, music, and more, called A True Force of Nature and in a League of Her Own by Clive Davis of the Times UK in his 2 5-star reviews of 2 different London appearances. Natalie Douglas is a nightlife 2-time Backstage Bistro, 12-time MAC, that's Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs, and Broadway World Best Cabaret Vocalist Award winner and recipient of the Donald F. Smith and Margaret Whiting Awards from the Mabel Mercer Foundation. Amazing. Whew. I said all of that without a breath. Good thing I've done years of radio and TV on the air. Extraordinary accomplishments. Natalie's portrait also hangs on the legendary Birdland Jazz Club Wall of Fame. We're going to show that to you in just a minute. Her performances have brought crowds to their feet across the U.S., places like, of course, Carnegie Hall and Birdland and Cafe Carlisle and the Herbst Theater and Thalian Hall and jazz at Lincoln Center's Appel Room, and throughout the world too, the UK, Germany, Italy, Montenegro, Greece, and so much more. Corsica, Turkey, Monaco, Argentina, Mexico. Really, really amazing. With many different concerts too, featuring tributes to the legends like Nina Simone and Lena Horne and Nat King Cole, Roberta Flack, Ella Fitzgerald, Sammy Davis Jr., Stevie Nicks and Stevie Wonder, the incomparable, one of my favorites, Dame Shirley Bassey, Elvis Presley, Barbra Streisand, Dolly Parton, Cher, as well as shows about cafe society, the music of the 70s and the 80s, songs of various civil rights movements, and gospel-influenced jazz and blues as well. Natalie's critically acclaimed award-winning third album, Human Heart, and her first 2 CDs, To Nina, Live at Birdland, and Not That Different, are available on iTunes, Amazon.com, Spotify, Google Play, and more. She also appears on Fine and Dandy for PS Classics and Broadway by the Year, 1940 on Bayview Records. She's a great favorite of broadcasters, too. Her music is often featured on NPR, which of course is National Public Radio, Sirius XM Radio, and BBC London Radio as well. Now, as an actor, she's appeared in 18 editions of the A Train Plays, a 24-hour birth-to-performance event at the Neighborhood Playhouse, the Peter Sharp Theater, and New World Stages, and off-Broadway in the People vs. Mona as well. She's also appeared in the horror film The Camera's Eye, ABC's Cupid, and can be seen with her gorgeous husband showing off the good education her parents paid for on the Discovery Channel's Cash Cab. Remember Cash Cab? That's a great one too. In addition to her work as a singer and actor, Natalie is a popular, much sought after educator working worldwide with singers of all ages in her capacity as the master teacher for the Mabel Mercer Foundation. Natalie specializes in diversity workshops and master classes for public and private schools, as well as devoting attention to individual study. Really cool. Some of the awards: the Mabel Mercer Foundation Donald F. Smith Award, the Mabel Mercer 12 MAC Awards for Outstanding Vocalist as well, Major Artist 4 times, Jazz Vocalist, Show of the Year, Celebrity Artist, and Major Recording Human Heart with 16 nominations, Nightlife Award winner, Outstanding Piano Bar Entertainer, Broadway World Cabaret Award, Best Vocalist, Backstage Bistro Award winner, Outstanding Female Vocalist, Backstage Bistro Award winner, Outstanding Recording, Human Heart, and Recording of the Year, not that different, MAC nomination. That's the short list, folks. That is just the short list. So with that, without further ado, I introduce to you our illustrious guest. Hi. Most people say when I do their intros, they say, well, that's a wrap. That's about it. You covered it all.
We have nothing else to discuss. We're done.
We've covered it all. How are you, Natalie Douglas? It's awesome to see you. Welcome to our show. I know you've been watching and you've been a fan of the show, and I really appreciate that.
It's been fun. I enjoy, everyone who knows me knows I love a good conversation. So it's a lot of fun to tune in and watch people that I know chit-chatting with you, and sometimes people I don't know terribly well, and then I find out, stuff about them. I love this format. I mean, I moved to New York primarily because as a little kid, I used to stay up late and watch the David Susskind show on our local PBS channel, and I was fascinated by his conversations with, Gay Talese and Gore Vidal and Carmen, the gorgeous model, and I loved them sitting around talking. James Baldwin, and I was fascinated by all of these people, and I thought, well, I have to move to New York sometime, and then I did.
Kind of like, yeah, David Susskind, Dick Cavett, some of the legends were sort of, people have said, actually, I didn't think about it. It was sort of the goal, but people brought it out just by watching. Some of the guests have said it, the viewers were sort of bringing back the lost art of conversation, which I think is really an important and beautiful thing to do. And we're also bringing into the world levity, and here comes some levity coming your way. Welcome, Natalie, to Levity Hall from Bernadette.
Thank you, Bernadette. That's lovely.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Jim. Just had my Pampered Chef cooking party. I'm here now to see you, Francis. That's fantastic.
I hope you brought snacks for everyone,
yes.
Francis.
Did you bring snacks for us? Marilyn from
Hi,
Wichita.
Marilyn.
Welcome, Natalie.
Cool.
And Jennifer in Colorado. She's beautiful, just amazing talent.
Thank you.
Renee in Iowa. Welcome, Natalie, as well. Lots of love on this show. Danilo in San
Lovely
Diego.
people.
Welcome,
Hello,
special
Danilo.
guest, Natalie
I
Douglas.
was just in San Francisco. San Diego. That was one of my last gigs in early March.
It's beautiful San Diego. You're now a Levity. I told you, you're inducted now as a Levity officially.
Yippee!
The pinnacle of your career. We have to add that to the resume now.
I will.
Levity
I'll put that
on
right.
The Jim Masters Show live. Ann Wozniak, welcome, Natalie. Looking forward to wonderful stories and music from Ann. Mary Bishop, welcome, Natalie. Juanita in South Africa, welcome to the show, Natalie.
Yeah.
She watches every single night from
Wow.
Canada.
Yeah,
It's amazing,
cool.
the viewership. Canada, welcome to Levity Hall, Natalie. Holland, Amsterdam, welcome, Natalie. The Jim Masters Show, the best show of America.
Love Amsterdam. We
Wow.
have cousins in Amsterdam. We were there two Septembers ago. It was it was so gorgeous, so beautiful.
The best show of America, she says. Can I? How do I print? Anybody, is there a way to print this out and put it on the billboards on the highway?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we need Levity everywhere. Karen in Pittsburgh. Hi, Natalie. Looking forward to the show with you.
Pittsburgh, awesome.
Pittsburgh and Missouri. Claudia says hello, Jim and everyone. Welcoming you too. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Hi, Natalie. Welcome.
Hey.
Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, Natalie. Jen is Zen.
Hey, Allentown. Love it there.
Yeah. Welcome, Natalie. So happy you're joining us today from Ann in Southern California. Kathy Short.
Oh,
Hello, Natalie. Welcome to Levity
hi.
Hall.
Thank
That's it. Christopher Joseph in Ohio. Welcome, Natalie Douglas.
you. Hi,
Uh,
Christopher. It's so cool. I love this.
Christine in North
Oh,
Carolina. Welcome, Natalie, to Levity Hall. You are now a Levity. That's a second.
I have
And
cousins
welcome.
in North Carolina too. Hi, Christine.
Ah. And from Florida, my mother welcomes you too. With love
Oh,
from my
hey,
mom.
Jim's mom. That's so cool. I
She's
love that.
welcoming. Isn't that cool? That's real levity.
Yeah, that is.
Frances told you
Oh,
what she made. She made
mm,
chicken and kale bread. Welcome, Natalie.
sounds amazing. That sounds delicious.
That is
I'm starved.
funny. That is funny. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, what a good way to begin with lots of levity, huh?
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, guys.
oh, our pleasure, and a toast to you. And thanks for joining us. I know you've got a busy night. You got to do a recording session after our show too, and don't want to disturb the neighbors, But
Exactly.
but you performing is not disturbing the neighbors. They probably love it. They're probably like, when is that Natalie going to do this again? Please, you know what I mean? They don't want to
Yeah.
watch what they don't want to watch the nonsense that's on television right now, all the negativity. They
Oh.
want to hear you through their walls.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Well, so
we
how have
should
you
correct
been?
ourselves.
How yeah, you mentioned San Diego was the last place before everything sort of came to
Well,
a
actually, it
big
was a
big pause.
little. We were on a
Go,
little tour, so San Diego was the first
nice.
place.
Oh, good.
We
Yeah.
did a San Diego date, and then the next night Palm Springs, and then we had a night off, and then LA. And then I was
Mm.
supposed to go to. Oh, Anastasia, hi.
Did
I
you
was
say
supposed to go.
Anastasia? Yeah,
I
from the old
did,
Brandy's crew.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did used to. I was supposed to go. I had a show booked for Orinda in Northern California, just outside of San Francisco, and we got up there, and then it was postponed because that was March. That was supposed to be March 15th, and so that date was postponed as of March. I think it was the 11th, and and then we ended up flying back early from San Francisco because at that point, as lockdown, San Francisco was obviously one of the first cities, but it was coming to New York, and we didn't know if it would affect the airports. We didn't know if we'd be able to get home, so we actually came back. But so my last show live was March 8th in Los Angeles at Fine Sense of Batellas. I did my Joni Mitchell show.
So yeah, and with that, some great places you were visiting there. But
Oh, yeah.
when everything came to a halt, what have you been doing yourself to keep creative, to keep connected, to keep those juices flowing as we haven't been able to be, socially
Mhm.
connected and in person and at venues and things of that nature? How have you been keeping the positivity and keeping things going on your end, Natalie?
Well, like everybody else, I have built a little TV studio in my home, and I've shot different pieces of film for benefits and special events, like the Night of a Thousand Judies. I was lucky enough to be one of the guests this year, and that was a virtual concert for the first time. So I've done filming at home, and then I've also done. My one of my best friends, Brian Nash, who was also my family and one of my MDs, he's in our pod because we were actually with him in California when we were doing this tour, so we are
And
all so close
and
that
just for
we
people that are listening to know, when she says MD, she's not talking doctor.
no music
Musical
director,
director.
music director, music
Because today
director.
you hear
Yeah,
MD, you're like,
yes,
what?
that's right.
That's a
Sorry,
head.
no,
That's a headline.
yeah, music director. And so he's we have each other's drums all the time. So when we started getting together for dinner and stuff like that, in each other's apartments, probably 3 or 4 months ago. So I have gone to his house and done a couple of projects with him, and he played my Radio Free Birdland show, which was the first virtual concert that I did. We filmed that in July, and it aired on the Broadway World events channel. That Birdland and Broadway World sort of combined. They're producing um, facilities, and created this series that now is every Tuesday and Thursday on the Broadway World event page. There's a something brought to you from Berlin. You know, a lot of my friends have done it. Telly Young and Amanda Green and Aisha DeHaas is coming up, and Jessica Vosk, and it's Billy Stritch, obviously, and like it's a really really cool project. I have enjoyed it, being part of it, and watching them. It's like a $20 ticket, $25 ticket, $20 ticket, and the thing is, it's on demand for a month after it airs. So you can watch the premiere and then be in the chat with everyone, which is always fun, of course. But you can also watch it any time over that 30 days. You can watch it again. You can sit down and watch it with friends, whatever. And that's really fun too, because you can jump in whenever you can program it given whatever your life is like at any given moment. So that was fun. I had that was up for 30 days, and I've done a lot of things. I mean, right now I'm working on a project with John Bacchino, the fabulous composer, who's also a friend, who is celebrating the 20th anniversary of his Grateful album. So it's going to be a virtual concert. So I'm recording one of his songs, which is an honor. And I'm just recorded 2 things for the Chicago Humanities Festival, which is this brilliant festival, existed forever in Chicago. And we were supposed to be there in person, but instead they're having a virtual celebration, and their theme is vision. So that was fun to build a show for them about that theme, artists with vision. And both songwriters, and in fact we did a little segment of it celebrating Cafe Society, which was the first purposefully integrated nightclub in the United States, and the man who created it, Barney Josephson, had a vision. So I've been sort of coming at it in a lot of different ways. I've guested on friends' shows, because I have a lot of friends who have been doing the same thing. And, obviously Cast Party, my dear friend Jim Caruso, which is now Pajama Cast Party, coming at you every Monday night, in your own home. It's been fun, trying to find these ways to stay connected, to stay creative. I just did an interview last night for 92nd Street Y with Michael Kirk Lane, and he asked, what do I think cabaret is? And I think the thing that it really is about is making the connection. And so, of course, every art form, every kind of communication is about that and for that. And I said, and I say this all the time, like we all do this because yes, we're show offs. We like to, hey, look at me. But I think a bigger reason we do it is so we can make connection with other people, with people in the audience, with our fellow performers on stage, with the people with whom you study. Like I think it's all about connection. I think that's why we do what we do, and that's what we've been trying to make happen, which is especially hard when we can't literally connect. We can't hug, we can't shake hands, we can't be too close. That's hard, because I think that's the thing we crave. But we
It
found
really,
these,
really is.
yeah, I think we've all found these workarounds, and it's funny. I mean, I enjoy it. It's different, but I like it. I was talking to someone, I met somebody through a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago who a performer, a singer who doesn't like it, who hates like the online, and I was kind of like, oh, that never even occurred to me. Like,
I came across a few. Yeah, they don't think they need that. They need to see the faces and
yeah,
be in the realm of the actual person. That
yeah,
they still feel there's a wall. There's something separating. There's a few artists that I've talked to recently that
yeah.
have said that. Um,
Just
it's
that never
individual.
occurred to me. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'm used to like this, like television studios, radio
right,
studios,
exactly.
technology. Yeah.
I had really good teachers, and they, impressed upon me that the audience is there just on the other side of the camera, but they're still, you guys are still here, and so it's not just you and alone in a room doing the thing, the connection is different than when we're all together in one space, but it's still there. So.
Well, one of the advantages is if anybody was to throw a tomato, it doesn't hit us. Right? It just hits their
Right.
TV screen or their
Correct.
computer.
Correct.
So that's an
Yes, that is
advantage, you
true.
know?
I hadn't thought about that either.
See?
There you go.
So when you talk to the friends who are trying to get used to this, just tell them, hey, you don't have any tomatoes or shoes coming your way.
Well, shoes are a good thing. Shoes are good.
So how did going back in time when you were a little girl growing up, tell us about some of the influences in your life, maybe within the family and beyond, that inspired you to pursue this beautiful career that you have, Natalie.
Well, it's really so early. My mom taught me to sing when I was 4. She taught me a song and told me that if I went and rehearsed it, then I could come back and perform it for mom and dad at dinner, which, you know, was really to get me out of her hair while she was cooking. But I thought, like, oh, I'm in show business now. So, I got very, very excited and went to my room and practiced the song and learned the lyrics, and I created a tag, which is amazing. And then came back and performed it for mom and dad, and I've basically been singing ever since. Um, I also saw we used to go see a lot of live performances growing up. Luckily, my parents were not musical themselves, but they loved music. And so they made sure I was involved in every way. I played the piano and the harp, and I took music lessons and voice lessons and dance lessons and tap and ballet and drill team and theater classes, everything. And they also had really great eclectic tastes and a fantastic record collection. So I was immersed in music, and the neighborhood in which I grew up was a music neighborhood. It was, honestly, I think in part because of segregation, um, that it was primarily a Black neighborhood. But when I was little, it had become sort of integrated, and it was a third Black, a third Asian, and a third Jewish. Like, we grew up, in each other's hair, in each other's kitchens, in each other's houses, and the neighbors were musicians. Tina Turner lived in our neighborhood at one time, and the Mills Brothers, Nancy Wilson, whom I got to meet, and I adored her. Um, and our next door neighbor, there was an empty lot between our house and theirs, but the next house over on the other side of the lot was a man named Paul Gayton, who was one of the first Black record label owners. He had been an orchestra leader in the 30s in New Orleans. And his big moneymaker on his label was the comedian Moms Mabley. But he threw brilliant parties with his gorgeous wife Odile. And my parents are much older than they adopted me. So I was the only kid around for many years. Because like my first cousins were much older than I, and my second cousins weren't born yet. And a lot of their friends were in the same age bracket, and they had, kids that were out of the house. So a lot of these parties, I was the only little one around, and that meant I was spoiled, and everybody dandled me on their knee and talked to me. And so I got the experience of being around really talented adults really young, and they talked to me like an adult. And it was also a really political family. My godfather, who was also my mother's cousin, was the mayor of Los Angeles. So one of my earliest memories is going campaigning with my mom, because she reasoned, and I think she was right, that people would be more apt to open the door if she was holding an adorable toddler. So he won, and I took full credit for it. And so I had these like great. Oh, that's actually my bio dad and one of his dearest friends, Mayor Willie Brown of San Francisco, the former mayor of San Francisco. Yeah, I met my bio dad 2 years ago, and he too is an activist. So I come by it completely naturally. He's a VP at the NAACP in San Francisco and has been an activist his entire life. And we met and hit it off instantly. He's the greatest. I am really, really happy that that we're getting to know each other and getting to be together. It is a real blessing. He's a very, very delightful man. I enjoy him. Um, but yeah, and he too loves music.
Yeah.
Um, and wanted to be a singer. That was one
Mm.
of his when he was a kid. If somebody asked him, he
Yeah.
would say he either wanted to be a cowboy or a nightclub singer. And I'm the nightclub singer, and his other daughter, my late sister, was a cowgirl. So his daughters lived his dreams,
The
which is kind of fun.
dreams,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, going along that path, what were some of the early breaks for you? Because I know you're an actress as much as a
Mhm.
singer as well. And were the two worlds competing at all, the singing, the acting, or were they always interwoven for you?
They were sort of side by side. Singing was the thing I did all the time. I was always in musical things and singing with friends, and somebody pulled out a guitar, and I went to an all-girls school, so we spent a lot of time in the hallways singing and playing guitar and breaking our own hearts. It was really fun. And uh, I but like the plays and things I did in high school and in school, those were tended not to be the musicals, tended to be the straight plays. They were kind of two separate paths. I never studied musical theater, for example, um, but I didn't see them as competing with each other because singing is talking on pitch, so it's a song is a monologue, you know, it's the same work. As an actor, you do the same prep, um, and ideally you do the same, diving into the material. Um, so I never thought of them as competing with each other. It's just I hadn't thought of singing as a profession. I knew that acting was a profession that I wanted, but I didn't think of singing that way until I was, oh gosh, probably like 18 or 19 maybe, which I was already in college because I graduated high school at 16 and college at 19 and then went to grad school. I I went to an open mic night in downtown LA that my friend Jan had discovered. It was called No Talent Night, which was encouraging, and and you had to sing a cappella, like nobody had any instruments, and you were competing with people who were doing poetry and like juggling and magic and performance art. It was everything, and I, we went a couple weeks in a row, and one night when I got up on stage, I sang my two songs a cappella, and the crowd was very kind and very generous. And they started screaming, and they literally would not let me leave the stage. And the MC had to, keep things moving, but they shouted him down until he let me sing one more song. And in that moment, and this was, I had 3 or 4 friends in the house, yes, but I didn't know these people. I didn't, and I suddenly thought, like, well, maybe, hmm, I, these strangers seem to like what I'm doing. Maybe, okay. And I had hung out with friends who sung in like the coffee houses and the cafes, so I got a little gig in a steakhouse in LA that no longer exists. Well, actually, I think it doesn't. I don't know. Um, that was on the top floor of a high rise in West LA, and there was a guy there who played and sang guitar every Sunday and Monday night, I think it was. And he was a friend of a friend, and we went to see him, and he knew how to play everything, every song ever, but he didn't know the lyrics to lots of things. So he would get requests from people in the house, and say, oh, I'll play it for you, but I can't sing it. And one night he got a request. It was $100 from an NFL player that I couldn't recognize because I'm not sporty, and but everyone else knew who it was, and to sing Blue Bayou. And he was like, I'll play it, but I don't know the lyrics. And I said, I do, and he said, okay, come here. And I sang it, and he gave me the $100. He was like, you earned this here. And I thought, this is an excellent job.
This is nice. I think I'm liking a taste of this, right?
Yeah.
$100.
I
I'm
think that
singing.
was the last time I got paid at that job. The first and last. But they did give me steak dinners and like a shot,
Yeah.
if I
Hey,
wanted it.
steak dinner and a shot. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
60
So,
bucks right there.
exactly. So, and I was young enough where like steak dinner, yes, I'm hired, I'll take it. So that was one of my first jobs as a singer, and everything was sort of like that. I've been very fortunate that I happenstancically have been at the right place at the right time when somebody said, you know, I wish I had somebody who could, I can do that. Um, uh, and then I came to New York to visit friends who had moved here. I had friends who were modeling, and they came right after school, and I came for a visit, and I fell in love with it. I mean, I got the plane, and of course, I came in October, November, so it was fall, and it was beautiful, and I went to bookstores and walked in the park, and leaves were falling, and I thought, hello, I'm home. And one of my friends took me to a piano bar, and the same thing, like the open mic kind of thing, late in the evening. It was so I did that, and the waitress came over and said, Danny wants to see you, and I was like, who's Danny? Okay. And took me to the bar, and the manager, the then manager, who is now deceased, but who's just one of the loveliest people I've ever known, a man I adore and miss still, said, hey, you want a job? And I was kind of like, I live in LA. I don't live here. And he said, move here and I'll give you a job. And I said, okay. So about a year
That's
later,
another
I was here.
$100 steak
Yeah,
dinner shot
yeah,
moment again.
exactly. And I worked there for almost 20 years. That was my day job. Um, yes, it was it and sort of everything has been like that. I have gotten auditions for shows because somebody heard me somewhere, or somebody knew me and thought, oh, she's perfect for this thing, and I get the phone call. And I mean, I've had managers and agents too, and that's definitely a help. But I firmly believe that we get where we get in life primarily because people we know want to work with us, you know, um, and that's why it behooves you not to be a dick. you like, I mean, it's just the bottom line. Why it's kind is better than right sometimes, um, but and I also think that's why we fall into some difficult patterns, and that's why there has been this real reckoning over the last 5 months or so, but 3-4 months, about diversity in our business, because people sometimes just call the same three friends over and over again, and don't take that extra time to look at their project and say, wait a minute, who's missing, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of wonderful opportunities and gotten to work with a lot of really wonderful people, because somebody said, oh, Natalie could do that, which I'm just so grateful for. Um, and I love music. I love what I do. I just, this is my job. I am so fortunate, um, that this is what I get to do for a living. And I was reading when I did the Linda Ronstadt tribute, which the first time I created that was summer of 2017. I read her book, and she talks about a moment when she was like 4 years old, singing with her older brother and sister, and they put her up on a table to harmonize, so her voice would be, higher than like, their knees because they were. Um, and she said that she thought standing on that table, yes, this is what I do. I'm a singer. And when I read that, I thought, yep, I remember that moment. I remember, like, sound coming out of my mouth and thinking, yep, this is what I do. This is who I am. And that's always been true. I've done other things, I've
Yeah.
tried other things, but
But it
this is
always
what I
comes
do.
back to your passion and who you are
Mhm.
and what you love. And I want to share some of that with the audience. Here you're singing
Oh, okay.
Old Man River. Tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about this scenario where you were and
Well,
all.
sure. I think this is, if it's the footage I'm thinking of,
Yeah,
it's um, it's Carnegie Hall actually
not
last
bad.
May. Um, yeah, the Mabel Mercer Foundation, which is, the artistic director is my friend, and Katie Sullivan, who is just lovely and a genius and delightful. Um, Creates these programs celebrating, pieces of our history in cabaret and nightlife, and um, this was a celebration of, um, I guess it was Jerome Kern. Yeah. And there were a whole bunch of us on the bill, and everybody sang one song or two songs. And KT had seen my Sammy Davis Jr. show, and Sammy Davis Jr. Created a slightly different version of Old Man River in, I think it was 68, maybe 69, when he hosted the Hollywood Palace. And he ended the show with it, and said a little something about having gone through oh, that was my first time at Carnegie Hall, and I had to take that picture outside the stage door.
Yeah,
Um, he said something about, what they were going through, the upheaval of 68, 69, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and of, Bobby Kennedy. Like it was the pain,
yeah,
the racial injustice. And he
absolutely.
said something about hoping that we could get to a place where man's inhumanity to man wouldn't be quite so inhumane. And then he sang the song. And so I put it in the in our show, in the Sammy Davis Jr. show, because it just, even when I built that show in 2017, it's still true. It's
Oh yeah.
still work that we
Hmm.
need to do. And KT was kind enough to ask me to come and sing it as part of this evening. She and I both agree about, sometimes when it comes to these songs that we've known for so long and we all love, um, we we don't hear them anew unless there's something slightly different, unless there's a
Different.
way to get inside it in a new way. Otherwise you're just hearing your favorite version of it again in your head. You're not present in the moment. So
Hmm.
she asked
Right.
me to do this, and I was honored.
Mm. All right. That's a beautiful introduction. And now let's listen to Natalie belting it out, knocking it out of the park, Old Man River at
Oh,
Carnegie Hall.
There's an old man called the Mississippi. That's the old man that I longs to be. What does he care if his folks ain't happy? What does he care if the land ain't free? Old man river, that old man river, he don't say nothing
Exactly. And I love your facial reactions as you're hearing it back. It probably gives you incredible memories. And you just, I mean, if there's a way to take the roof off the building at Carnegie Hall, I think you may have just done that. Just the power of the voice and the depth of the interpretation of the words and the meaning of them, just really solid. Yeah, solid.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's fun for me. I am a super nerd from way back. So I love the research. I love to dive into the history of the song and the history of, the composer and the singer. And I love all that. And thank you, Lynn. And I, I think of it as my job to work on that and then put it all together into the performance without making the performance itself labored. The people I admire, the artists to whom I look up, are people like Nancy Wilson, Joe Williams, Shirley Horn. They make it seem easy. They're not working hard, but they really are. They really are. But so I love that. I love finding a song and finding my way into it. That's
Hmm.
part of why the residency that I was doing at Berlin until COVID-19 happened um, was one of my favorite things ever because it was a different show every month. And sometimes it was crazy because I was out of town doing other gigs until like 2 days before or the day before the new show. But I loved it. I love learning new material. I love creating an experience for an audience, and hopefully one that's going to be really entertaining, no matter even if they don't love the performer the same way I do, because I
Right.
know everybody, isn't everybody else's cup of tea.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. Right. Exactly. We have another clip here. Now, here, I think you're rehearsing with Mark.
I don't know which one is this. Oh yeah, maybe. I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, then it's me and Mark Hartman, who
Yes.
is my MD, my music director, and has been for 23 years.
Wow.
And he's also family.
Yeah.
He's my
Yeah.
brother. He's best friend. And I think this is when we were rehearsing the Linda Ronstadt show, so summer of 2017. And this is what rehearsal is like. There's a lot of laughing, and a lot of like, do you want to? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
okay, and we don't finish sentences, and
Yeah.
then we just
And
do
there's
it.
lots of erasers around.
Well, actually, no, we try all kinds of things. Like I have a huge long list of all the songs that I think might be in a show, and then we try all kinds of things. And almost every time when the rehearsal is done, we look at each other and we agree.
Hmm.
Like, oh yes, that has to be it. That's perfect. Or oh no, let's never
Yeah.
speak of
No.
this again.
That's that. Bring that up
Oh,
again.
oh no,
Toss that
no,
out.
no, no, no.
File that away.
Yeah.
So we'll
So
take a look at that and see the levity and love and levity with this rehearsal with Natalie and Mark.
You and I travel to the beat of a different drum. Oh, can't you tell by the way I run? Every time you make eyes at me, oh, you cry and moan and say it will work out. But honey, child, I've got my doubts.
Really, really nice. And you were having fun right out of the gate.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. I mean,
yeah,
oh boy. And you know what's cool is to hear the range because completely different sound there versus the lower tones that we heard in Carnegie
yeah,
Hall. I mean, it shows your
yeah,
versatility and your range. It's
yeah, yeah.
extraordinary.
That's one of the fun things about doing the tributes. I don't do the songs in the Elvis show
Right.
in the same keys Elvis did, but I also don't do them in the same keys I sing for the Ella Fitzgerald show. I mean, it's different styles of singing. It's different, and I'm not doing impressions. I don't do that. I have brilliant friends who do that, Christine Petty and Christina Bianco. But I don't do
So
that.
so
But
so you don't do the lip,
no, I don't do the
the
lip.
Elvis lip?
No, I do not. And what's fascinating is when you watch a lot of I watch a lot of footage, obviously,
Oh
of the
yeah, to get
people.
familiar,
Yeah.
right.
And to find stories that aren't in, the book, because I want to find things that maybe you don't already know, and
Unique tidbits,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it seems wrong to charge you a cover to just read the Wikipedia page at you, because you could do that yourself and stay home.
Right. And
So I
and
want to find,
40% of it's inaccurate.
yeah, yeah, also that, yes. So I want to find things that are, different and interesting in
Mm,
another way. So I watch a
yeah.
lot of footage. Like when I built the Roberta Flack show, there
Mm,
hasn't been a bio of Roberta Flack yet. So I had to do all that research online, and it was consisted of newspaper articles and magazine articles and finding footage of Roberta giving interviews herself. And then one story I found um, from about her, but from the late Luther Vandross, because he was one
mm,
of her backup singers in his early years,
hmm.
and he had a wonderful story about her. It's fun to just sort of dive in and figure out all this stuff. And well, wait, you asked me a question to start, and I'm got completely
No, I
diverted.
think no,
Oh,
you were
no.
rolling along. Yeah, no,
Okay,
yeah.
all
We
right.
were just talking about
Um,
how much fun it is and how your voice
yeah.
shows the versatility of the two different
Oh, yeah, yeah.
sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I can't I'm not gonna do a an impression. But I
Right.
also don't want to like if like, I once saw a show by a lovely friend of a friend that was a celebration of Johnny Mathis. And the person singing it, the woman, sang everything in his keys. But because of where her voice lived, that meant she was singing everything down the octave
Mm, hmm.
from where Mathis sings.
Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things that is just, easily identifiable about his
Yeah.
voice is that lilting, that tenor, that
Yeah.
light, airy, smooth sound. And so if you're tributing that, but you're singing things in the basement, so that she literally was, chances are, that like I
Yeah.
sat in that room kind of going, what's happening? Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
And it was
No.
obvious, like
Yeah.
her great love for him as an artist,
Yeah.
but just, and I don't think that means, like, obviously in this case, singing the songs in his keys was not the right choice. Like that wasn't the way to tribute him,
Right.
Um, so, I want to build a show that like gives you a feeling of those brilliant people. I'm not Shirley Bassey. I cannot do what Dame Shirley Bassey can do, but I want you to feel like some of what her artistry is because she's brilliant. So we
Right.
try to give you a flavor. You know?
Absolutely. Here's If You Go Away.
Ah, is this
You
the
can take us.
rehearsal from London or is this
Uh,
the
this
performance?
this looks like performance. It looks like
If I'm wearing a
performance.
gold dress, then it's the performance.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We
This
shall
is
see. Yeah.
this is the first time we did the Shirley Bassey show at Birdland in New York.
Have you met her?
No, I haven't. No, I
Yeah.
do know her
Yeah.
best friend,
Yeah.
which is weird because
Yeah.
he's told me
Yeah.
great stories about her. Oh my
Yeah.
God, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed her voice. Yeah. She's
Yeah. The
amazing.
one time she came to Cast Party, I was not there.
Ah,
I am usually a cast party on a Monday night, but I was not that week.
if you go away. Here we go.
If you go away on this summer day, then you might as well take the sun away. All the birds that flew in the summer sky when our love was new and our hearts were high, when the day was young and the night was long and the moon stood still for the nightbird song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a day like no day has been. Oh, we'll be again. We'll sail the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. Then if you go, I'll understand. Leave me just enough love to hold in my hand. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, if you go away, as I know you will. You must tell the world to stop spinning till you return again, if you ever do. For what good is love without loving you? Can I tell you now, as you turn to go, I'll be dying slowly till the next hello. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a night like no night has been. Oh, we'll be again. We'll sail on your smile, I'll ride on your touch, I'll talk to your eyes that I love so much. Then if you go, I won't cry, though the good is gone from the word goodbye. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. If you go away, as I know you must, there'll be nothing left in the world to trust. Just an empty room full of empty space, like the empty look I see on your face. I would have been the shadow of your dawn if I thought it might have kept you by my side. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away.
Really beautiful, really beautiful. And again, sung with such warmth and depth and heart. And I think I'll sing that every night too. If you go away, stay here. We love you. When you're on stage, are there certain things that come to mind? I imagine, do you take on the essence of what the lyricist, composer, the craftspeople of these songs were thinking as they were crafting these songs, or do you apply it maybe to things in your own life, or is it a combination?
It's it's more the second, but I study the first. I try to find out the context of the tune. I try to find out what was happening in the composer's life, in the world. Because I'm a huge Nina Simone fan, and as Nina always said, an artist must reflect the times in which they live. And so, I try to find out as much as I can about what was going on, and what was the purpose, like why was the song written. Um, and then I usually create a scenario for myself. I create like a little movie in my head.
Hmm.
Um, and I know who I am in that scenario and why. Like, I always think that songs are um, urgent, even if it's not, if that's not the idea behind the song, that's not what the song means. But I think the idea of singing, that we, like in musical theater, we sing when the emotion is too big for mere words. So I think it's sort of the same in life. And every song has that heightened reality thing to it. So I think about a scenario that makes sense to me in terms of, why am I singing this right now, and to whom am I singing, and where am I? And I'm one of those. I had great acting teachers. Um, I think specificity is how we get to universality. We don't get there by singing in general terms. If I sing like about general love, that's not actually a thing. General love, just sort of like some abstract concept of love. Like, what is that? Love is a series of actions. It's a series of choices you make every day for your partner, or your parents, or your kids, or your dog, or your best friend, or your ice cream sundae, like whatever you love. It's an action. It's in order for it to be a real thing. Otherwise, it's just words. And so I think about really specific actions connected to the lyric, connected to the feelings behind the lyric, and everyone can relate to that. We've all had our heart broken. We've all loved someone we shouldn't. We've all loved someone, you know, and had it reciprocated. There is nothing sort of greater than the moment that you look into somebody else's eyes and you see that they see you the way you see you, the best of you. And whether that's your love partner, or your best friend, or, your mom, like that is a brilliant moment in someone's life. It is a fully joyous moment. And some songs are about that moment. Some songs are about sad moments and hard moments and painful moments. But I think that's our job on stage as singers, to experience those human emotions really, truly, fully, without losing control, because that's therapy, and audiences shouldn't pay you for therapy. You should pay
Right.
them. If that's what you're doing up
Right.
there, then you
Right.
owe them. Um,
Although
but
sometimes both benefit, right?
yes, oh,
When there's
absolutely,
this
absolutely,
symbiotic sort of thing going
yes,
on, it's like, oh, wow,
yes.
we both won
I
that night.
Yes, yes. I definitely think you can. There are things that happen on stage, and things that happen between you and your fellow musicians and the audience on any given night, that can like lift your life. Can change your life, can brighten your spirit. But I don't think you go on stage for that. I don't think when I teach, I am not a fan of people who go on stage to get something. I think you go on stage to give something, to share something. If you're out there for what you can get, we're going to feel it and we're going to hate you, you know, or at least I would if I were in your audience. Because I always feel like, wait, what? Why are you? Wait, you're coming after me? I don't know you. What do I owe you something? It feels like just too much pressure for an audience. That they have to come in. They already showed up and put on clothes, hopefully, and pay to cover and found parking and whatever, and they're here, and now you're going to put more of a burden on them. No, no, they've done enough. Now it's your turn. So
You
I
got
feel like
that?
yeah, yeah, I do. I mean, I feel like that's
Oh,
our
I mean,
job.
anybody listening? You
Yeah,
got that?
but I really do. I feel like
Boom.
that's
So
what you're
true. It's
supposed to do.
so true. Right.
You know,
Exactly.
we are
They're
lucky
coming to
enough.
They're coming for their load to be lightened, for them to
Yeah,
be away from the chaos of life and all the troubles and
yeah.
the bills and loss of a friend who passed away or whatever it may be. They're coming to get away from that for that period of time.
Or
Yeah,
to get deeper into it. I mean, I think
right,
sometimes, I have gone to shows that moved me emotionally and I loved the experience, but it
right.
made me think more about
Yes.
something
Yeah,
painful or something difficult. But because it was truthful, I didn't mind going there.
yeah.
If you're telling the truth, which that's my only rule. Like I think you have to tell the truth on stage. That is your only rule. You can get away with anything else, I think. Well, no, okay. You have to tell the truth, and you can't. And What I don't enjoy, I should say, um, self pity. But that's what we're talking about. Like again, if
Right.
you're trying to get something, you're trying to get sympathy from the audience. You can talk about something that happened to you that's not good, um, and you can express those feelings in front of an audience and share those feelings with them in a human way. Like, hey, here's you can relate to this pain I feel,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think you go up there to like, look at how sad I am. Don't you feel
Yeah.
bad for me?
That was more Phyllis Diller and like comedians that do that type of thing. Rodney Danger, more of that.
But she did it to be funny. I mean,
Right.
she wasn't
Right.
like it wasn't true self pity. She wasn't
Yeah.
actually saying,
Right.
look at me, I'm hideous, and
Right.
don't you feel bad that I'm so unattractive? Like she was poking fun at the whole idea that a woman needs to be attractive to
To go
exist.
through all that. Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and that
Exactly.
if she's on stage and we're giving her our time, we have to like looking at her.
Exactly.
It was actually like a brilliant feminist point of view. I love Phyllis Diller.
Oh,
It,
I missed
but,
her. I miss her too.
in
Yeah.
much the same mold as Mom's Mabley, who was
Absolutely.
an elderly black woman who took out her teeth before she went on stage to do her act. She was not anybody's idea of pretty on stage doing that, but she was actually a pretty woman,
But she was
but
right.
she was making
Exactly.
a larger comment, you know,
Exactly.
which is another thing I think people should do with their acts, but that's just.
Also, there are times when we come across stormy weather.
Mm,
We're going to hear a little of that right now.
okay, cool.
So we'll play that and then we'll talk about it when we come back. Here we go, folks.
Sure.
More of the incomparable Natalie Douglas with some stormy weather.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky, stormy weather. Since my man and I ain't together, keeps raining all the time. Life is bad, gloom and misery everywhere. Stormy weather. Can't seem to get myself together. I'm weary all the time. Since he went away, the blues walked in and met me. If he stays away, old rockin' chair don't get me. All I do is pray the Lord above will let me walk in the sun once more. Can't go on, everything I had is gone. Stormy weather since my man and I together keeps raining all the time. I walk around heavy-hearted and sad. Night comes around and I'm still feeling bad. Rain pouring down, blinding every hope I had. This pittering, pattering, beating and spattering, driving me mad. Love, 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 love. This misery is just too much for me. Can't go on. Everything I had is gone. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the
Hmm. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you. And that's my other best friend, Brian Nash.
Mm. And you guys have worked together for a while too,
Mhm.
huh?
2003, so what's that, 17 years? Yeah,
Isn't it hard to believe that
I know.
2003 was 17 years ago? I mean, what's going on? Slow
I
the
know.
train down. Slow the train
Yeah.
down, please. Wow. You really do a beautiful job on that song, huh? I mean, you're just feeling it. You can visualize it all as you're, performing it.
It's a brilliantly written song, and
It
that
is.
Roger Edens bridge, that second bridge, which was not written by Harold Arlen and Ted Koehler, is so perfectly evocative, and we have all been there in that rainy, heartbreak, stormy. Oh, jeez, you know, and that's what music does. It takes some of our pain, some of our dark moments, and the sheer act of singing makes it better. The sheer act of hearing it sung, you know, because sometimes there isn't anything, Oh, thank you, Jennifer. That's so sweet. There isn't anything that anyone can do. That's everybody's so nice. Look at these people. Oh. So I think about that every time I sing. Oh, thanks. Um,
Lots of
and
levity on the
again,
show. Lots of levity.
yes, I see levity everywhere. Again, I feel completely lucky to do what I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really blessed.
And the other thing, as we get through the stormy weather in life, one of the things that you're very good at doing is making all of your performances unforgettable.
Ah,
How's that for a segue?
that's a segue.
That's a segue. Let's listen to that and we'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
Another incredible performance. Get ready, folks. Hang on to your hats. Here she comes with more Natalie Douglas.
unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far, like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought and forevermore. That's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Like a song of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me never before. Has someone been more unforgettable in every way? And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Natalie Douglas.
I love that. Really, really. Everybody wanting more and more and more and more. I mean, that's a absolutely exquisite version of Unforgettable. Really, really, you know. Natalie Cole knocked it out
A
of the park, of
glorious
course,
song.
but and Nat King Cole as
God,
well.
I love her.
Your version is extraordinary. Yeah, really. Is it hard sometimes to, like you were talking about, like with the Johnny Mathis situation with the other singer, to not try to sing it like the original, or is that's something really you got to be conscious of, right? Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. Yes, that's part of why you listen, so that you're not um, consciously copying, or unconsciously, subconsciously. Um, oh, that's so sweet. I, I I think one thing you can do is sing a lot. Take sort of every opportunity you have to sing, and that way you develop your own voice. Um, because we all learn to sing singing along with our favorite artists and our favorite records, and
Yeah.
our whichever song you like best and
That's
whichever
beautiful what
artist you like.
Bernadette said there, huh?
Oh yeah, oh that's so lovely. I
Mm,
had the pleasure of meeting her.
did you?
Oh gosh, I guess it was 2010, 20, like
Mm-hmm.
in there somewhere. Oh my God, she was just so
Yeah,
kind,
lost her
so
too early too.
encouraging. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. She was
mm,
so lovely. She was at Cast Party actually, and she
mm.
was so wonderful to me after I sang. Just couldn't have been more generous, and didn't have to be like it.
Yeah.
You know,
But
just
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lovely person.
touching a lot
Thank
of people's
you.
hearts tonight.
Oh,
Lots of levity.
well, they're touching mine. Thank you.
That's the way it works. Absolutely. Also, and we have some more too, but I wanted to show this. This is really
Sure.
touching. This is you in Germany looking through the
Uh,
glass. Tell us about that. That's special.
sure. I was lucky to get to work with a brilliant producer who just died recently, the wonderful Paul Lucas, who was just a fantastic man. And he booked me to do a festival in Recklinghausen, Germany, which is near Dusseldorf. And this festival has been going on since 1944 or something, 45. Um, it immediately post-war, this tiny town thought that the people in the town needed something to lift their spirits, and they didn't have any money to pay performers, so they paid them in coal,
Mhm.
like like coal to heat your house. But they got performers from all over Germany to come and um, and do a festival, which I think lasted like 2 nights or something back then. Well, it has been continuing all of these years, and now it is. Obviously, this is probably the first year they didn't have it. It's like 6 weeks long, and it
Mm.
takes over this entire town, and there's a permanent tent, and we were invited to come and do our Nina Simone show there. So that was the summer of 2014. And my music director who went with me was the fantastic John Weber. Oh, he's so grand. I love him. And John and my husband and Paul and I all flew there. But we picked up the rest of the band there. They were German nationals, wonderful players. And we had one day of rehearsal. So we were in a school in the town, which is on the edge of a park. And we were rehearsing in this room. And it was the first week of June, and it was a bit warm, so we had the windows open. And after one of the songs, we heard cheering and looked out, and there were school children who were being taken for their recess, I guess, or something, who had heard us through the window and stopped and listened. So they started screaming, and our side guys, were translating for me that they were asking for my autograph in German. So I leaned out of the window and signed their schoolwork. And my husband took footage of it and referred to it as my Elvis moment.
And here it is.
Yes, darling. Yes, dear. You're welcome.
They were so sweet. They were just amazing. I mean, those audiences were fantastic too.
Yeah,
That was
that's
my
cute.
first time singing in Germany, and the experience I had when they really, really, really like you, or at least in this town of Germany, they
Yeah.
stomp their feet. And
Hmm.
so we were in we were in a permanent tent, like that's the performance space, but the seats are all on like on wooden risers. So when they stomp their feet, it sounds like thunder. It's the most amazing. After the first time they did it, after
It's
one
like,
of the numbers, I was just kind of
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Wait, is that thunder?
Yeah, is there a tornado coming or everybody
Right,
duck,
what's happening?"
duck and
Yeah,
cover?
it was.
Yeah, but
They were
it's a
so kind.
thunderous applause in a way for,
Yeah, it
which is
was.
really beautiful. We have another great clip here too. This is "I Am Woman."
Oh, yay,
Yeah, yeah.
Ellen.
The Helen Reddy song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we
I
just
adore
lost
her.
her and
Yeah.
Mac Davis like a week or
On the
so
same
ago.
day, I know,
Two
and I am
legends
such a
and same
70s
age too.
baby. I know.
78. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I went to the same school Helen's daughter did for a while.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I
the
I interviewed her
uh,
when she came to our college in New York back
she's so
then.
great. She was
She
such
was,
a lovely
yeah,
person.
very
Just so
approachable, very
kind.
affable.
Yeah,
And then she
and
went
funny
back to
and warm.
Australia and was with
Yep,
her family and grandkids and
yep,
did, all of that. Very beautiful.
yeah,
Again, gone too soon as well.
yeah.
It's perfect that the timing is almost like a tribute that we have this song here. Natalie Douglas, I Am Woman.
Oh, you're my favorite.
Amazing too, amazing. A great version of that song and the
Thank you.
musicians too around you really good. That's another thing is having really incredible musicians lifting it up too as well, right? And you work with some of the best.
Yeah, I'm really lucky in that respect. I love good musicians. I love them. And I also find that really talented people, whether they're musicians, actors, dancers, whatever, um, are usually also really kind. Like, the people who are difficult are not usually all that great. So it's easy enough to avoid working with them because they're not that good at what they do. That's part of
That's
why they're
right.
so angry and
And they have to
hard
tell
to work
you how good they are all the time, right?
with.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marianne Lapinto says, brilliant. Her sister Tony
Ah,
Lemon is a fabulous performer. I
fun.
know her bits. It's been a long while we connected. Francis says, awesome, Natalie. One of my favorite songs, I Am Woman.
Fun too.
Fern says, you can do
Oh, hi,
anything.
Fern. Hi,
Lots of
girl.
claps from Merlin in Canada.
Hey, hello.
Helen Reddy smiling down at you. May she rest in
Oh,
peace.
yeah, yeah.
Really, yeah, absolutely beautiful. It's just showing people the incredible versatility of your performance, your interpretations, your vocal textures, your heart and soul as well. And we have some more here to share with everybody.
Oh,
Um, let's see. This just says Natalie rehearses, so we'll surprise everybody, and then we'll chat
okay.
about it after. Let's see, Ned Sherry popping in. One of my favorite Helen Reddy songs, and you did an amazing
Thank
job of
you.
singing it. Good
Thank you so much.
stuff. Do you have your Kleenex box next to you? With all these comments, right? From around the
Oh,
world.
so nice.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to see it all. All right, here we go. Here's another surprise.
You stay, I'll make you a deal I've known there's been or will be again. Sing for the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. And if you go, I understand. Give me just enough love to hold in my hand. If you go away. If you go away, if you go away.
Yeah.
Just a
That
quick
was
little teaser there. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that was London. We had created Brian Nash there and I had created the Shirley show for Birdland here, and it's a huge band. There's a brass
Mm,
section. And so to take it to London, we obviously couldn't take that big an orchestra. We couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford it. So Brian rearranged that entire show
mm,
for piano, voice, and cello. And it was amazing how much
beautiful.
cello could do. So we
Oh, yeah.
met that young woman, Carola Krebs, really talented, lovely, fresh out of conservatory there in the UK, and that was our rehearsal because we met her the day of the first show, and we had one rehearsal with her, and she was fantastic. And then we did 3 nights of shows in London with a new version of the Shirley Bassey show.
Absolutely. I wonder, Shirley was aware of the fact that you were there and
Yes, yes, but she lives in Monaco now, so she wasn't in the country. I heard sort of at the last minute from the dear friend of hers, that is a friend of mine, that she did know, and she had tried to arrange her life to be in the UK so she could come and see it, but it just wasn't going to work out because she does live in Monaco full time now. But I was just over the moon at the idea that she might be in the same room and I would then be a puddle, you know, just a gibbering fool.
that would have been right. Would have been very touching as well. Beautiful words from Sherry. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing gift with
Oh,
us tonight in Lovely
thank
Hall. You're definitely a
you.
lovity now. You are
Yay.
definitely a lovity, that's for sure. And we have some more
Yay.
here. Here's another just as rehearses, so we'll play this and see what this one
Okay,
brings us to. Lots of
cool.
surprises with the wonderful Natalie Douglas.
Lost in a crowd with too much rain.
I know you're just getting into it. That's just a little tease, a little tease.
From the
Are
Elvis show.
I was going to say, are any of these that we're hearing compiled on CDs, albums, downloadable, Amazon, anywhere? In case people are going to like, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'd like to get her material.
Well, the only tribute show that we have recorded to date is the Nina Simone show, which was my second album, live recording that we made at Birdland. Actually, the first show I did at Birdland in 2004, and we've done something like 80 shows now between in the last 16 years. So that's my second album, and that it's available wherever the albums are sold, Amazon, iTunes, etc. Even though iTunes doesn't exist anymore, Apple Music, that's what.
Apple Music,
Um,
yeah.
and then some of the songs that you're hearing from some of the other tribute shows are on both of my albums. The other, I have three. The other two studio albums. But the Nina show is the only one we've recorded as a show. I have video of a lot of the tribute shows, and I have put some clips of them up on my YouTube channel, because I have a YouTube channel too. And I have a few clips on Spotify and such. But yeah, no, was in talks with a record label to do a new CD that would be a celebration, like that would feature some of each of the tribute shows. Like a
Nice.
few songs
Yeah.
from the Judy show, the Shirley show, so on.
Yeah.
But obviously everything is on hold
Everything's
now that
sort
we
of-
are. But yeah, so hopefully, because I'm very lucky. Every time I do one of these shows, the Dolly Parton show, the Lena Horne, there are people who talk to me after the show. I'm like, you have to record this one. This is the
They
best
want
one.
it, right?
Yeah.
That's
And I would love to record them all. I mean, it's so much fun. I get to sing all of these really great songs.
Absolutely. The excitement in your voice, it just went higher and higher as you said that.
It's true. I do. I really love.
I love it. Yeah.
I when people ask me what my favorite song is, it's always whatever I'm working on right now. Because like when I was learning the Joni Mitchell show, which is a lot of words,
Yes.
lot of words.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was I was just obsessed with how brilliant she is. What a great poet she is. And the Ella show was just so much fun. Those arrangements are just killer, And I learned the one song that Ella wrote. She wrote one song in her life. Well, I mean, she kind of wrote Tisket a Tasket too, but I mean, a standalone tune that did not exist. She wrote a song after Dr. King was assassinated, which was just beautiful. So I did that when we did the Ella show. I do a show every year around my birthday, because my birthday usually falls on MLK Day or near there.
Yeah.
So we did the Ella show on my birthday this year, and I sang that to celebrate her and Dr. King. And it's just so much fun to learn all this new material.
Guess what we have next? There's a surprise.
A tasket, a brown and yellow basket. I sent a letter to my mommy. On the way I dropped it. I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it. A little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket. She was trucking on down the avenue without a single thing to do. Backing all around. Then she spotted it on the ground. She took it, my little yellow basket. And if she doesn't bring it back, I think that I shall die.
Really nice. These are it's such a tease. It almost reminds me of like Name That Tune, where you just get a little bit of it and then you got to like finish the rest. It makes you want more. That's a great version, and I love the rhythm and the percussion and the instrumentation going with that. That's a cool.
That's based on Ella's version. That's the brilliant Billy Stritch there.
Billy.
That's based on, yeah, fantastic. With Nina Jones and Shirzette Tennant on drums and Mimi on bass. They're such a great trio. We had so much fun working on that show. And it's based on Ella's version of Tisket a Tasket from her the 12 Nights in Hollywood, that
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
Right.
So it's based off of a live recording of Ella singing Tisket a Tasket. Because one
Mm.
of the things about Ella and a lot of those artists from those days is, they work like 200, 300 nights a year. So
Yes.
they when they performed live, they changed things up. The versions of songs that we know from the radio or from the record isn't necessarily how they did it most often. And Ella, I mean, one of the things I love about her, I say this in the show, is that she would go up all the time on lyrics, and she would just scat and make it a thing. But when you listen to the songbook albums, those are pristine and perfect, and that is lyrically exactly the way Cole Porter or Duke Ellington or whoever wrote it meant for that song to be. But when you listen to her sing live, she's just
Mm.
making stuff up and having a great time. And
Right.
so one night I think it was in the 70s at Montreux Jazz Festival, when she came out, she said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a bunch of songs for you. I'm so excited. Some of them are new songs, and some of them are old songs, and some of them we don't even know. Right? I'm like, yes, awesome. She was
That was
such
a great Ella too. That was a little of her acting prowess, just sliding in there for you folks.
well, she just
That was
had
good.
that girlishness all her
Yeah,
life. That
yeah,
sweet,
yeah. And then all of a sudden, when she
innocent.
would sing, yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, there was all
amazing.
kinds of voice, and she
Yes.
low and high. She had an amazing range, but her speaking voice just had this light, this innocence, this kindness, this sweetness. No matter what the world did to her.
Hmm.
Amazing.
We have another clip here. Let's see what this surprise is. Another
Okay.
surprise from Natalie.
Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-band dashing all those hoes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas, turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna have this fun, I'm gonna keep on the run. If it costs me my very last dime, if I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swinging time. I'm gonna give it everything I got. Lady luck, please let the dice stay high. Wanna shoot a 7 with every shot. So viva Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas, viva, viva Las Vegas.
And the name, folks, of that tune is.
I love that song. It is so much fun to sing. Oh
It
my
makes you
God.
feel good, right? It really
Oh,
makes it.
it's
Yeah,
kooky as heck. I
yeah.
love that movie. That movie is so improbable. It is delightful. And of course, it stars Elvis and then Anne Margaret, who is like the female Elvis. So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody loving it. Jennifer was playing her tambourine with you as she was doing it. Viva Las
Yeah.
Vegas. Merlin claps.
It's just
One of the
fun.
best shows I've seen. Thank you for all your efforts putting this
Oh,
together. My pleasure. My pleasure. Lovely having Natalie here, and she'll be back with us too. She's always welcome back.
oh,
We have uh, we have another clip here too. We'll surprise. We
oh,
have some
okay.
we have some photos to run through too. Some beautiful
Oh, all right.
photos. Here's another
Okay.
great one.
Fun.
Years began to fade, like promises we made. How could a love that seemed so right go wrong? The things we did last summer, I'll remember all winter long.
That's really nice. And I love you watching it when you're watching the clips because you're like, you're back in the moment, you're in the vibe, you're like reliving it because she's actually, folks, because you don't get to see it, I do. She's moving, she's wiggling, she's like feeling it again
I don't know how to listen to music and not move. I don't know how
without,
I don't know how that's possible.
that's what,
Yeah, that was from the Nancy Wilson show, and that was John Weber as MD. She was at Tenon again, Anisha.
yeah.
Yeah, it was. God, I just love doing these shows. It's so much fun, and again, I get to sing such cool songs.
It's a blessing, isn't it? A true blessing. And I know
It really is.
you realize that and you know acknowledge that and pay homage to that
Mhm.
probably every day of your life, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely do. Because I get to do this thing I love for a living, and I know that that's lucky that everyone doesn't get to do what they love. We all have to make a living, and of course now it I don't know what's coming. No, none of us do. Um, but who knew that a job that requires a crowd was a bad idea? you know? so who knows when we'll get to do it again live. So I treasure all the moments that I have gotten to do it in the past, and I certainly hope that I will again. But yeah, I'm lucky.
Very much, and again, it is a blessing and a great joy. We have some beautiful photos here. Of course,
Oh,
we
cool.
showed this one earlier, the Carnegie Hall, and this
Yeah,
one,
that
the
was
very
fun.
first time. I've emceed several holiday events and things at Carnegie Hall, concerts and whatnot. Um, and that's what you do. You take that photo of that sign
Yeah.
and Carnegie Hall, we're going to go inside. Um, this is cool too. This is there's Clea.
Oh yeah.
Clea is on our show Saturday night. Clea Blackhurst.
Oh,
It's good.
I
We have
love
a
that
lot
Cleo.
of
She's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I love that girl. Yeah, this is uh the Bleep magazine was doing a celebration of Jim Caruso's cast party,
Right.
and Jim asked me and Clea and Julie Halston, who is also brilliant and delightful, and of course Billy Stritch, to appear on the cover. And then the whole magazine had information about cast
What's
party and
happening
Jim's
and
friends who, he sort of has formed this little, he refers to it sometimes as the Birdland rep, that there are a
right.
whole bunch of us who do shows at Birdland under his auspices for, a long time. And yes, that's the picture. It's actually black and white, but that's the Seth Walters took the shot that they surprised me with and put that on the wall in 2014 and surprised me at the end of one of my shows.
Mm.
Jim and the wonderful owner there, Johnny, came up. Oh,
Share.
this is
Share show.
Jim's
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. When I did the Cher tribute, Jim had this picture, the upper half there, of Cher backstage in Vegas for her residency. And he asked me if we could take the same picture, in essence, backstage before we did my Cher tribute. So the photographer Kevin Alvey, who was wonderful, came back with Jim, and we set it up. And he had it on his phone, and we were sort of like putting me in the right position, and took the same shot, which was fun.
Really, really cool. Really, I mean, that's amazing. He really captured something very special there. This is
Well,
cool
that's the other
too.
thing. I try to do like the makeup differently for each one of
Yeah.
these people. Like, I try to really give you flavor, and the costume, my dresses, try to come up with things that evoke it.
And the makeup is a whole lot. Do you do your own makeup or do you have somebody that does it?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
Yeah. And
It's
that
my I
alone
love
is a whole art form. You know what I mean? Doing
Yeah.
makeup.
Well,
Yeah.
I went to girls' school, like I said, and it was a private girls' school, so they wore uniforms. So makeup was the only thing I could play with.
Right.
We had free dress days occasionally, but like, the way to express myself as opposed to outfits.
Right.
So I've been playing with makeup since I was like 13, and I love it. It's fun.
Ah, the award.
Ah, that's Debbie Whiting, who's just a doll. And again, they surprised me on stage at Carnegie Hall in 2014 with this award, the Margaret Whiting Award, which
Mm,
was obviously named for her mother and
mm-hmm.
was presented by her mother's production company. It's actually their whole family. Is her dad, and then and the Mabel Mercy Foundation together. Like
Hmm.
they jointly produced this event and gave me that award, and I was so honored because I adored Margaret, and she was just spectacular and funny,
And
like
funny as
funny, you know.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other Donald
Donald F.
Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
And again, Katie surprised me on stage. She likes doing that, because she likes to see me cry in front of people, I think. But
Is that
there's
KT
something.
Sullivan?
Yeah,
She's
the book.
coming on November 22nd. I can I
You'll
can
have
announce
such fun
I
with
can
her.
announce that today. Yeah.
She's a hoot and a half. I have loved that girl for 30 years. She's just so sweet. And my husband, she actually reminds both of us of his aunt. So the first time he met her, when we had only been dating like 2 months, and he came to see me do a thing, and he was one of the other guests on the variety show, kind of, and he felt madly loved her. Like that, they are just bonded, mad, crazy for each other, which makes me really happy because I enjoy both of them. And her husband is also delightful too, so it's a love thing.
So it all works out. It all works out.
Yeah.
Here's another great shot. This is with Gianni Valenti, I
Oh
believe. Yeah,
yeah,
Johnny. With
that's Gianni Valenti. Yes,
Johnny.
that was the night they surprised me on stage, and that was after they took the picture up, and I just, oh, he's such a doll. He's just, he cracks me up. He's
Hmm.
funny as he can be, and I think because he loves music and musicians so much,
Yeah.
um, everyone who works for him does too. And so
Yeah.
that club cares about the artists. It's
Right.
not, I mean,
Not
they're
just.
great at all the bottom line stuff. They are fantastic at it. But that's not the only thing they're there for. They're there for the music. And so they take such good care of us that you want to take care of them. It's a brilliant staff. I love them all.
That's really great when you have that care and that attention to detail.
Oh yeah.
Nat sings Judy. This is a great shot.
Yeah.
That's levity. That's what you call levity.
Yeah, that was it.
That's levity.
Again, Kevin came into the dressing room at Birdland, and Jim had the famous Judy picture on his phone, and we recreated it. Putting my hands at exactly the right sort of distance apart, and it was so much fun.
Mm,
Before the Judy show. And
yeah,
again, I tried to create like the Judy makeup, which was completely different than the Cher makeup, for that night.
absolutely. Uh, Here is the cover to Human Heart. Great shot too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Bill Westmoreland. He is a brilliant photographer. I adore him.
So
I
this is one of the albums. This is one of the CDs that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can get.
That's the most recent, 2016. Yeah. We had such a fun shoot. I mean, I was dancing in that shot, but we did lots of things, lots of different poses and lots of different outfits and hair and backgrounds and whatever. But when we were looking through all of the shots, and the second I saw that, I was like, that's it. That's the album,
Hmm. That's the one.
because we were trying to get the album out before that January. We were trying to get it completed before we went to London so we could release it there too. And I was going to London the week of, I think it was Valentine's Day. So January was hectic that year trying to get it all
Oh yeah,
done.
absolutely. Another cool one here. Natalie's 60s vintage shot.
Oh yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
that was Bill Westmoreland again for that bleach shoot that you showed earlier. That was just a test shot. Once I got the wig on, because he, had said, "Can I wig you? Is that okay?" And I was like, "Well, sure, I guess. Let's try it." But I have so much hair that like I can't put a wig cap isn't going to really work. So
Yeah.
so we were trying to figure out what to do, and he just pulled my hair into a ponytail and plopped the wig on top, and I couldn't turn around, obviously. And he took that shot looking into a mirror, like that shot is in a mirror,
Oh
uh,
yeah. The reflection you can
and it
see.
was literally just a test shot,
Yeah.
and we both loved it so much that we were just like, oh, I have to use that for something. It's so cool. Yeah,
That is. It
it's
really
fun.
is a cool.
Wigs are fun. You put on you become a whole new person.
Absolutely. And this is Birdland.
This is when they told me the picture was on the wall. That was the moment. I That was the first time
Yeah.
I ever did the Dolly show, and at the end of the show, right after the encore, I think. Might have been right before the encore. Johnny and Jim came up on stage, and I was kind of like, "What's happening? What are we doing?" But because they have done that before for my birthday, but this was obviously not my birthday, so I didn't know. And then they pointed at the picture, and I lost them.
It's either that or you just won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah, it was such an
Same
honor. I
expression,
mean,
same look.
yeah,
Yeah.
that wall. There's the legends are all over that wall, so it
Yeah.
means the world to me. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
knowing about Birdland, and standing on that stage and singing is a thrill.
There's
That's
magic.
me and
Yeah.
Brian right before one of the Birdland shows, summer of 2013.
Yeah.
Brian and I taught every summer in Traverse City for 10 years because one of our dear friends from New York moved there, and she was directing a kid program for a while at a community theater. And Brian went to Interlochen, so he has a Traverse City connection. And every time, so this I think was one of the pictures that we used for a flyer for a show up there, but the
Mm.
picture was actually from Birdland. But yeah, we had a really good time doing that. Working with the kids was just such
That's
a
really
joy, and we had
good.
like little ones, 6 year olds.
Mm.
This is right before the share show. I think it was the second time we did it. Yes, the second time. Um, Different costume. Yes,
Mm.
and that's the band. That's
That's the band.
Shirzette Tenen there on the left, brilliant drummer. Alec Berlin on guitar. Me, Gene Taylor, who's singer. Oh God,
Mm.
he's just. And he did the duet with me on After All, and
Oh
Brian
yeah.
Nash, of course, and India Owens, who is a genius bass player. I mean, this band is gorgeous, obviously, but also like super talented. These people, I am so happy when I get to work with them. It's just
Mm.
heaven on earth.
Very cool.
And this is the band in San Francisco. Um, we took the Roberta Flack show to Feinstein's at the Nico in San Francisco last September. And Brian and Mark came with me. Obviously, that's Mark behind me, and Brian to the right, looking at the picture. And Brian has his hand on my husband's shoulder. That's Billy Joe there. And
Mm.
then these are the lovely musicians that we got the chance to meet and work with in San Francisco, who were all friends of my dad's, actually. That's how we met them.
Mm.
And so this is, I think, the night before the first show, we took pictures on the steps outside the showroom.
Very nice. Really, really nice.
But
We're saying hello to everybody watching on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, Facebook at Jim Masters TV, Periscope, and Twitch. And we hope you'll subscribe to the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Show it some love. We love that. Here's another great shot of the crew.
yeah, this is the
Good
band.
picture. Yeah.
I think this is I think this is the Barbara show.
Mm.
No, I lied.
Mm.
This is Joni Mitchell. This is a Joni Mitchell
This is
show.
General Schultz.
So
Yeah.
that's me and Brian, obviously, and Jonathan Michelle, who is the tall gentleman in the back, who is a bass player for Jesus. Oh my God, he is so good. But Alec Berlin on guitar and Jerome Jennings on the drums. They are like crazy good. They make this happen like, basically in an afternoon. We have one rehearsal really. Sometimes we can get two, but with everybody's schedules, it's just really hard to get us all together. So they are magic, and like that
Yeah.
Joni material is, crazy. It's so she has completely different ways of
Yeah.
voicing her chords because the polio left her weak on one side.
That's
So
right.
she learned to play guitar in a
Mm-hmm.
completely unique way, and she strings her guitars differently to get certain sounds out of it. So you can't just, kind of have a general knowledge of the guitar and sit down and play that stuff and have it sound right. You have to be kind of a master of your instrument to figure out how to get the voicings out of it without having 7 different guitars in front of you. Because
Exactly.
that's how she does it. I mean,
That's
she
how
strings guitars differently.
Right. Here's another great
It's
shot of
amazing.
you. That's a great
Yeah,
one here.
that's me. I'm Mark. I think before the Sammy Davis Jr. show, when Kevin Alvey, the great photographer, realized that we were standing in front of this wall backstage at Birdland, and I was in red in front of a black wall, and Mark was all in black in front of a red wall. He was like, "I have to have that picture! Oh my God, that's amazing!" We didn't plan it that way. But.
Sometimes those are some of the best moments when they're not planned,
Yeah,
right? Things just happen. It's a cool
totally.
shot too
Yeah.
there.
Yes, I don't even know what we were doing, but this is in the dressing room at Birdland before the Joni show, and Ryan and I were just
It's like
being silly.
it's
And
it's like,
when
excuse me, Miss Natalie, can I have your autograph? Oh, yes, yes, you can. Does somebody have a pen?
when Kevin showed us the picture, we both started laughing because we were like, it looks like a shot of some wacky like '60s
Yeah,
sitcom, like
right,
there she
right.
goes again, like we were both hysterical when we saw that. It's
And
weird.
he has the expression that the husband would have
Yes, yes,
in the '60s sitcom.
totally. Like, what are you doing? We're so ridiculous. we are we are just silly all the time.
And
Oh,
Billy,
yay,
a
Billy.
wonderful friend, Billy.
Ella. Yeah, the lovely
Hmm.
Billy Stritch. God, he's just
Hmm.
so talented and such a sweetheart.
Good
The
spirit
best person
too.
ever. Yes. Oh God, yes. A lovely man. Yeah, this is the Nancy Wilson band. You saw us at rehearsal, and then we go in the dressing room. We get all cleaned up. And
Yes.
that's Anissa Strings on bass there on the left, and John Weber, as I said, who is 6'6" of talent, and
Mm,
cheers at Tinnen on drums here on the right. Great band, great,
really.
just
Yeah.
gifted beyond imagining. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the Ella band, Shirazette again, and me in my Ella party dress, and Mimi Jones and Billy Stretch. Yeah.
Really nice.
Uh, that's a
Mm,
shot from, I think we did For Women, which is a show I created celebrating Nina Simone, Lena Horne, Abby
mm,
Lincoln, and Billie Holiday. And we did that out at Kingsborough in Brooklyn,
mm.
um, at Kingsborough College. And I think that's a shot from that performance,
Really nice.
which was just,
Yeah.
that was fun because we had it's such a huge stage. We could have the whole band. Yeah, you can see pieces of the band there.
Yeah.
But you can really spread out. Hey, ah,
Mm.
this is from an A Train play, one of my favorite A Train plays. It was called Fairies of the Underground. It was written by, I think it was Dave Reedy. Yes, it was the A Train plays, the idea of it was that the riders would get on the A Train at the very top and ride to the other end, which is about an hour and a half. And in that time, they would write a one-act play. And when they got to the other end, there's a McDonald's out there at Coney Island, and they would meet the composers. And everybody gets assigned to everybody, like pulling names out of a hat. So they would find out with whom they were working, and then they'd get back on the A train, ride uptown all the way back to the top, and
Mm.
write the songs for the musicals. And
Mm.
then they would ride to Columbus Circle, and we, the actors, would be waiting there. And they get off the train and hold up your headshot, and that's how you find out with whom you're working. And on this occasion, it was me, Ashley Atkinson, and Drew Donovan. That's who you see there in front of you. And we were in this three-hander, and Dave wrote this wonderful, wonderful piece about sort of what if the subways don't actually run on electricity? What if it's actually magic and there are fairies who push subways along? And
Mm.
I was the human being who, for some reason, that night can actually see the fairies. So that was our one act. And it was Joanna Parsons wrote the songs. It was just such a joy to do. Oh my God. It was just so much fun. I loved the A Train plays. We would do them off book the next night. So it was a 24-hour process.
Mm.
Not even for we would usually get our music because we would all get together after that meeting at Columbus Circle. We'd go over to the neighborhood playhouse and record the songs.
Mm.
I'd read the first 3 pages of the piece and the last page of the piece out loud, and then come back the next morning and rehearse all day. And that, and I can't tell you how many times in the wings, waiting for my cue, I thought to myself, I do not know this song. I do not know my lines. I cannot remember choreography. Oh, oh, okay, here we go. And our motto was just don't suck. And also make it rhyme. Larry Feeney and Craig Pospisil, and Dave Reedy, and Michael Pemberton. They were like these people who created this this idea, post 9/11, actually,
Yeah.
because the very first one was a fundraiser in 2002 for some friends and family, the firefighters who were lost, first responders.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so it began out of this pain and horror, and became, from 2002 through 2008, this magical process. And I met some lovely people, friends to this day, and had a blast. And Ashley and I used to talk about how, in many ways, it was the an experience, a professional acting experience that is the closest we've ever been to, college theater, to theater classes. Like when you're just doing
Right.
it for the love of it, and it's, and that's all that's fueling you, and everybody is chiming in, and everybody worked hard, and it was magic. I loved that experience.
Mm.
I would do it again in a heartbeat anytime they asked me. Um, and I, and again, you just walk out there. Oh, the other motto was just make it rhyme,
Just
because
make it right.
sometimes you get in the middle of the song, and think to yourself, I don't know what the next line is. Something something rhyme. Larry also called it the NASCAR of theater. But, that was the album release. That was that night, at
Very
Birdland
exciting.
in
Yeah.
2016. Yeah, it was so exciting. It was so much fun, because we had strings on the album, and
Mm.
so much. We had, a big band that night. Oh, and this is,
Cruise
actually
ship,
from South
right?
America. Yeah, on a
Yeah.
cruise ship. Brian Nash is, the music director for Atlantis Events, and I did a couple of concerts for them over the years. I've done several of their events, and this was South America on, I think it was a Seabourn ship,
Mm. Mm.
um, and I did. I headlined the opening night, the first night of the cruise, but
Mm.
Brian, played piano bar during the week, so I sat in with him a couple of times, and somebody took that picture, which was
Very
very, very
nice. That's a
kind.
great shot.
And that's me with Brian again, back at Brandy's, when we both worked there, 2004, I think it was 2003, maybe. Yeah,
Mm. Mm. That's really cool.
back in the day. It was
Yeah.
funny. This picture. Brian actually looks. Brian and Mark look a little alike. I mean, they don't really, but they
Mm.
both have brown hair, and they both wear
Yeah.
glasses, and
Yeah.
so this was a picture that, Brian said that he had seen several times, like
Yeah.
for years, before
Hmm.
he realized it was actually him in the picture and not Mark.
That is funny.
People are
There's
always getting them confused. It's funny. And that was from a birthday show at Birdland. Lynn Redmile, who's a fantastic photographer, love her, took that one, uh, and January of 2012, I think it was. Yeah.
very nice.
Um,
Really captured
yeah,
something
it's
there,
fun.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that show. That birthday show was, I think, one of the first times that we built a show of everything I wanted to sing when I was a kid. All the songs that I was obsessed with listening to on the radio. I mean, I do that now sort of all the time, but that was the first time that was sort of the main criteria. And so it was so much fun. I sang things from Carla Bonoff album. I sang Eagles songs. I sang Nancy Wilson songs. I think I did a Bonnie Raitt thing. It was just like all these things I love. Blossom Dearie, just, it was fun.
Very cool. Another shot. Having a good time there, huh? Yeah.
Yes, that was the Dolly show. So I don't know what I said to tickle myself, but apparently I did. And that was a Dolly Parton show when we did the second or third time we did in 2015. We did, I did it for the first time one night only in 2014, and then we brought it back in 2015, and I did 4 or 5 months once a month, you know. So that was one of those. And yeah, that was doing 4 women up at the O'Neill, up at Eugene O'Neill. I was a master teacher for them this summer, but this was the first time I was up there as a guest artist. So I did a show one night, and then the next morning I did a workshop masterclass with some of the fellows up there, and it was fun. Oh, what? Oh, you know what this is? This was from Winter Rhythms at Urban Stages. One year I did a program with a bunch of other singers. Stephen Hanks created it. It was a 70s sort of tribute show. And I think this
Like
was,
Carly Simon.
yeah, Carly. It was either
Yeah.
I did a Carly Simon song, an Elton John song, and one other one in that show. I can't remember what the third one was. Maybe it was Stevie Wonder. I can't remember. But yeah, so this was that night. I guess
Really nice.
December of
Really nice.
2015, maybe something like
Yeah.
that. I think.
Great shot.
Yeah. Oh, that was from the
Wow.
Joni
Look at that
trip
gown too.
December.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. It was
Very
like, you know,
elegant.
again, I
Very
tried to
elegant.
evoke like the 70s sort of all pure waste, you know, Joni kind of moment, which was really, really fun. That was from 4 Women at Birdland. And, you know, I think Kevin captioned this one, Natalie tells a story, which is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Because part of, you know, I obviously, you know now, I enjoy talking too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a conversation with the audience. So I like to, you
That's
know,
what it is. Exactly.
engage. And
I second that. Yeah.
yeah.
Here's a cutie photo. A
Oh, great.
tisket, a tasket. Is this an
There,
Easter
yes.
basket?
No, it is my first starring role. This is the crazy thing. What's going to freak you out is that I was all of, I think, 5 years old. I was crazy tall as a kid. I was this. I'm 5'6" now. I got to be 5'6" when I was 10. So freaked out the parents because they thought I was going to be a giant.
Yeah.
So I was already tall at 5, and this was 4 or 5 really. I played the mother cat in the kindergarten production of you know, the 3 little kittens who have lost their mittens. we apparently were doing nursery rhymes. I don't know. And this was at my cousin Norma Jean's house, who was really like an aunt. She was closer in age to my parents than, and she had helped my mother make my costume because my mother was very gifted at a lot of things. She was a psychologist. She was brilliant, but she was not a sewer. That was not. She could cook like nobody's business, but not sewing. So my cousin helped sew this costume, and this was me trying it on, you know, with my. This is the basket. I carried the mittens in because, you know, my pivotal
Yeah.
moment
It's
was
cool.
when I walked back in with the mittens and I catch the kittens pretending that they still have them when I know they lost them. Yeah, it was dramatic.
Your mother was a different kind of sewer as a psychologist, helping sew relationships
Yes,
together.
yes, yes,
Different
and
kind.
and people. Yes,
And
she was good at
people,
that
yeah.
part. Mhm. That's me having fun again. With I think this is. Oh, I think this is one of the birthday shows. Yes.
Yeah.
With Mimi Jones right behind me there on electric bass, and Shirzette Tenen there in the distance. And God only knows. I mean, I decided a long time ago when I did my first cabaret show in 1989 that I wasn't going to sing funny material unless I found material that I really thought was funny. You
Hmm.
know, there are those songs, God knows, but most of them, you know, other people have done and done them brilliantly, so I don't need to do them. So I decided I was going to try and be funny when I talk, just, you know, talk about funny things. Um, and so I do that. I always have a good time in the show. You know, I try to
You
laugh
do.
as much as I can. And
Absolutely.
sometimes I'm laughing at myself because, you know, something has just gone horribly wrong.
Or
And all I could do
sometimes
was
you're
laugh.
laughing with Clea Blackhurst and from Three's Company, Joyce DeWitt.
Yeah. Yes. This was Woman of the Year. We did 54 Below, Fine Science 54 Below had a concert series of celebrating, concerts like the having a concert to celebrate the anniversary. So this was the anniversary of Ballroom. No, is this Ballroom? This might have been Ballroom. I don't remember what this Ballroom or Woman of the Year. One of those.
You just know you're having
I
a
said,
good time.
yeah, no, this was Woman of the Year. It was definitely Woman of the Year. Yes, it was the anniversary of that production. And all of us who played Tess wore red.
Mm,
That was because each of it, they do a concert version of it, so it's not the same person singing all of the songs.
right.
So they hired a whole bunch of us to be Tess, and this was backstage, hanging
Yeah.
with the girls, having fun. It's one of the most fun things I love about something that Christine Petty taught me to call a parking bark, where there are a whole bunch of us on the bill, and you walk out, park yourself, bark out your song, and then get off the stage. um,
Yeah.
um, I love those because we get to spend the whole day together usually, sound check in the afternoon, um, and then getting into the drag, backstage. Because by virtue of what we do, particularly the concert work, the nightclub work, we are alone when we do it, or we're with other instrumental musicians, but we're not with other solo performers. So this is a chance for us to get to hang backstage, and it's always just the best time. You always
Absolutely.
find your peeps.
And then there's Celeste Holm.
Yeah, that was 2007,
Yeah.
an event celebrating um, Ron Abel, actually, and
Yeah.
his songs. And she was there with her lovely husband, Frank. And I had met her several times, but I don't know exactly how um, it happened. But I walked by and she was being so lovely and complimentary. And somebody, I think this is Seth Walters who took this shot, said, look over here. And oh no, you know what? It's a Mark Rupp. Mark Rupp, who was a friend of Frank and Celeste, said, "Hey, look over here," and we did.
Mm.
And that shot was just,
And you,
happenstance, but I
yeah,
treasure it.
there it is. And you mentioned Ron Abel and of course Chuck as well.
Yeah, with Mark. I think this was after Roberta Flack show the first time we did it. Um,
Mm,
I
yeah.
love those boys. Oh, they are just so lovely and talented, kind, and just divine people.
Marilyn.
Uh, that's Marilyn, lovely Marilyn, the goddess of us all. This was
Marilyn
one of
May,
the
yeah.
chances I got to be on a panel with Marilyn, which was such a thrill. We were judges for a competition at Fine Science 54 Below. And Christine Petty was the MC, and somebody came by and took a picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Linda Lavin,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, Linda and her darling husband Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are such excellent people, and they came to the Share Show the first time they did it. And I have seen Linda um, in her cabaret show with Billy Strange, so many times. Sort of every time they do a new one, I'm there because I just adore her, and it was such a thrill for her to come and see me. I was tickled pink. And it was also really like I didn't know they were there until after the show. But I spent so much time in that show talking about
Yeah.
Cher as an icon in the '70s. And so when Linda came walking up to me, I was like, "Oh my God!" And you're
Yeah.
another one. The women that I, as a little kid, looked up to on TV, who were showing me kind of how to be an independent woman and how to be strong and also how to be funny, and have a good time. But that '70s TV,
Yeah.
I learned a lot about feminism from them, and
Well,
also going to an all-girls school.
I was gonna say it is like a trip down '70s memory lane for all the TV
Mm-hmm.
buffs because Joyce DeWitt from Three's
Mm-hmm.
Company,
Yeah,
Linda Lavin from Alice,
yeah,
and John Davidson from the John Davidson Show.
yeah. Yeah. I think this was after John's show. I think, yeah, John did a show at Birdland Theater. I I think it was last summer. They're blurring together. The first time he did a show there, he's done a few shows there since. But he's just such a doll, just, and again, somebody that I watched on television as a kid and
Yeah,
adored.
there he
Um,
is. Yeah,
you know, and so it was really fun to see him do his act. I mean, he's, just fantastic and sounds great. And I think he's in his 80s,
yeah.
ridiculous.
Does he live in Mexico or in that area? I thought he had a place in Mexico. I saw a video
Maybe
where he was
I
there.
thought I thought he was saying he
California.
lived upstate, like New England, like
I know he's from
Vermont,
Massachusetts.
Maine.
Originally
Yeah, but
from
I thought it was
Massachusetts.
like New Hampshire. I thought it was up that way, but I honestly don't
Yeah.
remember. I
Probably
don't.
Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Yeah. Maybe northern
Mhm.
New England. Maybe he has a place in Mexico.
Yeah, maybe.
Now,
Yeah.
Tom
Oh
Wopat. Now we're
yeah.
talking Dukes of
Yep.
Hazzard. That
Also
70s
70s.
theme,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
Michael
Michael
Feinstein.
Feinstein.
This
Yeah.
is the very first time I was at Carnegie Hall. This was 2013. It was Michael's American Songbook program, and with Mark and I uh, were guests, and Tom obviously was there with Ted Firth, and it was so much fun, such a thrill.
Michael Feinstein.
Backstage, we took pictures.
Tom Wopat. Yeah. Dukes of Hazzard, of
Mhm.
course, and much more. A cool shot of you and Clea. I can only imagine what he's saying. Are you singing? You must be singing "Pennies from Heaven."
We were just being silly. That was after a show at Birdland, and we just were, I think we had taken one picture, sort of smiling in the camera, and we said something to each other about, let's pretend we're taking a candid shot. So we did that.
Yeah.
That was just like, it was silly. It was just being silly, as
Hey,
as we
that's
are wont
silly is
to.
good. Silly is good. Don't
Oh
ever
gosh,
stop
it
being
is.
silly.
Yeah, we have a
Don't ever
good
stop.
time. Yes, and that's Valerie Pettiford, who I adore. She was at that same show at Birdland. That was Freedom Songs in 2012. That was actually the show where I broke my leg. Right there, I'm sitting
Mm,
there on that bar stool with a broken leg.
really?
I broke my leg at sound check,
Mm,
and I didn't know it was broken. I thought it was just sprained. So my husband and the rest of the band basically carried me to the dressing room. I put on my dress. They carried me back to the stage. I did the entire show from a bar stool. Then they carried
wow.
me over to the bar area here at Berlin, where I sold CDs and took pictures with friends. And then we went to the emergency room and
Mm,
got x-rays. And that's when I found out it was actually broken.
boy.
Um,
Mm,
yeah, it
mm.
was
You'll
wild.
remember that. You remember
Uh,
that night for sure, huh?
oh, for the rest of my life. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. This is after the Ella show in 2018. I think that was the first time I met the Countess. Um, my friend Ben Rimmelauer, who is her director, and Rich Martino, who is a brilliant agent manager. They're both friends for a long time, and they brought the Countess to see me because she had started doing her Countess and Friends program, and she asked me to be one of her friends to guest in the show after having seen me do the Ella show at Birdland. And she was very, very kind to me. She's a fun girl.
Mm.
Christina Bianco. Yay, she's fun. God, she's amazing. Yeah, she came to the Dame Shirley Bassey show the first time we did
Mm.
that, and we got our picture. We've known each other a long time. She's a really darling girl. She's a friend, and
Very
we
nice.
hang. Yeah.
This is a nice one too in this collection.
What's this? Yeah.
What's
This is
this? I
well.
like that. What's this? What,
What's
what
this?
what are they? What did their research department of Jim
By
dig up?
now. um, we since I started doing the residency, and doing a different show every month, we started this little thing of kind of we take a picture, like a costume picture, because I do try and get an outfit that's evocative in some way of the era
Hmm.
or the artist, or um, and or the shoes, because I love shoes.
Yeah.
I do quite the shoe collection. So Kevin Alvey, who is the Birdland House photographer, who's fantastic, and he's also a friend, a dear man, comes backstage at a certain point, and we get a shot of the outfit. And this was
Mm.
the dress that I wore for the first time for the Ella show. I bought it for the Ella show, and when I was in the dressing room, Kevin and Jim came back and said, "Oh my God, stand in front of that wall." That's
Yeah.
perfect. Because I didn't buy it for the wall, but it works.
When you look at all these pictures and videos and everything that you've done and continue to do, I mean, singer, actress, you also teach other people too. You mentor other young minds as well coming up. Tell
I
us
love it.
about that.
Well, oh, it really started when I was 12 years old. My first job was as a camp counselor for something called USC Mini College. My mother was a college professor by then, and still working for the Board of Education. But she had friends in the I think it's AAUW, American something University women who teach work in higher education. And she had a dear friend, Dr. Thelma Eaton, who created this program at USC to try and get junior high school students, primarily Black and Brown students, interested and thinking about college before junior year, so they have time to kind of think about shape their academic life with an eye to getting into college. So she created this program and needed counselors for it. And like I said, I was this tall. So they just told me to act like I was older because I was the same age as the students, um, and become a mentor. And I loved it. It was so much fun. They had guests every day from different occupations and different institutions to talk about the world beyond college, the world beyond high school, and I felt like I was learning as much as the students. And then it was really fun to talk to them and find out what their lives were about, and I learned then that when I didn't know the answer, because there were lots of things I didn't know the answer to, that when someone has a question, and you're in some sort of position of authority, it's up to you to go and find that answer. Like that's the responsibility you have. You don't give a BS answer, and you don't say I can't help you. You help. That's your job. If you don't already know. And that was my first experience in that kind of work, and that was my first real job. So well, I mean, my uncle taught me to bartend when I was 8, but I only did that at his house. So that
At
didn't really
8,
count.
yeah.
At 8, yeah, he put me up on a milk crate and taught me. I loved it. It was fun.
And what was
I
the
love
first ingredient at 8? Hawaiian punch?
Scotch.
Scotch. Forget about the Hawaiian
Yes,
punch.
yes, no, 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 no. I
This
mean, I
was
literally, he put me behind the bar at one. He threw fantastic parties. He was actually at that point retired, but he had moved to. This is my mother's eldest brother. He moved to Los Angeles from Texas, which is where they grew up, in the 20s. He had trained as an actor, and he wanted to be in movies, and he got to Los Angeles and discovered that the roles for Black actors basically meant carrying a spear or playing a Pullman porter or a shoeshine boy.
yeah.
And he didn't want to do any of those things. So he did a couple, roles, but nothing major. But getting on the lot and getting to know people on the lot, he, in essence, created the whole idea of event planning. Uh, and he became sort of bartender, party planner to the stars. And then spent the rest of his career in Los Angeles, decades and decades, throwing parties, catering, hiring bartenders to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so, when I was little, I got to know some of these people got to meet them, not, be friends with them. I was a kid, but Gino Durante, and, because he worked with all of them, worked for them. And
Good night, Mrs.
he was,
Calabash, wherever you are.
yes, and he was a lovely, lovely man. My Uncle Jay,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
so kind and funny. And from about the age of 8, maybe he waited till I was 10. Every time we would go to his house, he'd hand me a bottle of champagne and say, put this in the refrigerator. A girl always has to have a bottle of champagne in her refrigerator because you never know when you're going to need to celebrate. And to this, I have never lived in a house
Without,
without a bottle of champagne chilling in the fridge
that is
to
cool.
this day. He's been gone a long time, but it's one
Yeah.
of the ways that I celebrate him and
And
his
he
joie de vivre.
yes. And even with all that, Cash Cab. Tell us about that.
Yeah, 2006. So it was the first iteration of it. It's back now, but they they came to the bar, Brandy's, and they actually came at happy hour, and they were giving people trivia tests, and they didn't really say what it was for. Like, it was some TV show, and they gave me a test. I came in to work the night shift, the piano bar shift, and the producer said, would you take this little test for me? I was like, sure. And it was, some multiple choice thing. I don't know, the history and geography and general knowledge. And I took it, and she went, wow, you got everything right. Um, she said, well, I'm working on this new show, and it is a show celebrating different cities. And we're going to go to each of these cities. It's a travel show. And interview people who live in the cities, and talk about their favorite places.
Mm-hmm.
And we might even, take you to your favorite place and, like, film something there. But it'll be like you and, your husband or your family, And so they set us up to be in this show called Destination New York, which didn't actually
Yes.
exist. We didn't know
Right.
that.
Right.
But so the day of taping, she said, okay, we've chosen your destination. They asked to give a list of favorite places in New York. And we gave them a list of our favorite places. And one of them was Birdland. And so she said, we chose Birdland as your favorite place. So today at 5, you go downstairs. Our production van will pick you up and take you to Birdland, and then we'll shoot the show down there. We talked to them, we got permission, blah, blah, blah. So we go downstairs, and the production van isn't there. And I keep getting calls from the production staff, like, oh, I'm sorry, they're in the wrong place. Okay, you have to go around the corner. No, I'm sorry, they're going to meet you at this corner, And eventually, after a couple phone calls, they say, God, I'm so sorry. The production van thought you said, West 79th Street. So take the next cab you see and come to Birdland. And I'm so sorry. I so apologize. We'll reimburse you, So I get off the phone. We see a cab. We hail it. We get in the cab. We say, my husband, I think, said, Birdland, please. And 44th between 8th and 9th. And the lights go off. And and Ben, the host, turns around, he's the driver, and says, you're in the couch cab. Would you like to play a game? And we didn't get it. So
Didn't know what that
Billy
was.
Joe said, my darling husband is like, sure, fine, whatever, but we're late. Can we just go?
We gotta go. Yeah, keep moving forward.
Yeah. And he was like, you guys, this is the show. This is.
You're
Like,
on it now.
oh. Yeah. So we had to refilm that. We had to refilm, like, getting in the cab and saying, Birdland, please. But then the rest of the experience of riding to Birdland and answering the questions on the way, that was as it happened. The only thing they left out was the one time we used you're allowed to lean out the window and ask a stranger,
Yeah.
when you're stumped. So we were stumped. We got every question right, but we were stumped on one question. And we were driving down 9th Avenue and pulled over and leaned out the window. And I said, excuse me, can we ask you a question? We're in the cash cabin, but, because I was the one nearest that side of the street. And the gentleman I was waving down came walking over and said, "Natalie Douglas?" And I was like, "Oh my God, Michael, hi!" And he was the music director that I'd done a reading with, years before. So the producers and the director were kind of like, "Okay, no one will believe that you were driving down a street in New York City and you leaned out the window to ask a stranger a question, and it was
And
someone
you
that you know."
know who it
Like, no
was,
one will
right?
believe that. They will think it's a setup. So we are not using that. And it didn't change the outcome of the game. So they just cut that out. But it was really fun. Between the two
Yeah.
of us, my husband and I knew a whole bunch of stuff, and I even got a golf question right, which was so exciting because I don't know sporty things. He does. I don't.
You said that earlier tonight. I'm not sporty.
Yeah, I'm not sporty.
But you
I'm
could play sporty on TV.
yes.
Well, this was really
Okay.
amazing. When I was saying earlier, when you look at all of this, I mean, you must really count all your blessings. Is there anything, of all these extraordinary opportunities and blessings and people you've met and venues and material you've had an opportunity to interpret, that you still want to do, Natalie? Any different things that you want to sort of embark on? Do you have that bucket list of, gee, I know I want to do that and I'd love to do that. Is that still there or is that still growing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, there are always new things that I want to do. Until March 15th, I had a year of shows booked at
Yeah.
Birdland, a different show every
So
month,
many
different
people.
new
Yeah.
artists,
Big
that I
year.
had. We had a Pearl Bailey tribute lined up. We had a Rosemary Clooney tribute, James Taylor, Bette Midler, there are all these tributes that I want to do, all this music I have yet to sing, and other artists with whom I want to work, and I loved, traveling. I mean, that's a huge chunk of the of what I love about what I do. I miss the travel. I really do. Um, so there are, and I haven't been to every country yet at all. I haven't been to the Far East. I have been to sort of all around uh, France, like all around Paris, but I've never actually been to Paris.
I've been
So
to
I'm
it.
blessed
Yeah.
to go there, to sing there. I've made a couple of films. I've done a little bit of television here and there, but I'd love to do more of that. That's fun. And I, I, I'm an activist too. I mean, I have a wish list of things I want to see changed, and I am absolutely willing to work for it. I'm not going to sit on the sidelines.
No,
So
no.
yeah, I have plenty of things I want to do and can't wait to do.
Well, this was really extraordinary. Almost 3 hours. I know you still have
Oh my
that.
gosh!
Could you believe that? I know every single
No, I
person
just
says that because we have such a good conversation and the flow and the vibe
I
that everybody
yeah
says it feels like maybe an hour and a half and then they look at the
yeah.
clock like wow, it's like,
I
and I know you
I
have.
took my glasses off. I didn't see what
So,
I did.
yeah.
Yeah, when I have my
Juanita,
glasses off,
Juanita
and
in
you're
South
still
Africa, still with us, and she says, "Thanks for Jim for a great
hi.
show, Natalie. You're a delightful and have a beautiful voice. Thanks for sharing all your great stories, which I think
Thanks.
is really nice. You really are a delight, Natalie, and a
Thank
blessing
you,
and a
Jim.
joy and a tremendous talent with a real heart and soul, and you express it through your art form, and I'm sure in every aspect of life, and people know that. That's why they flock to see you and want to be surrounded by that energy. And
I hope
you
so.
are definitely welcome back anytime to our show, and I hope you'll
Thank
spread
you.
the word about the show. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Natalie.
Sure, it's been so much fun. Totally. And your levities are delightful.
Merlin says, it's been a blast. And Bernadette
Yeah, I
says, stay well and
agree.
stay safe. Natalie,
You
thank
too,
you
Bernadette.
again.
Everybody out there, stay well, stay
Stay
healthy.
healthy. You're beautiful
Oh,
inside and out.
I love
Great
you, Fern.
show. Thank you
Good
very
to see
much,
you.
Fern. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific,
Oh,
Fern. So I hope you'll join us. You too, Linwood. I hope you'll tune in
I love you,
regularly. You
Linwood.
are very
Linwood
welcome,
is one of my
Merlin.
first friends in New York. I mean, I have loved him forever. ever. He is just a wonderful man.
And Anne says, this has been such an awesome evening. Thank you, Natalie, for being so
Oh, thank you,
gracious.
Anne.
Jennifer in Colorado, thank you for the wonderful show. Our pleasure. Absolutely. And I hope it met your expectations.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Totally fun.
You enjoyed it,
I love
right?
it.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was it was a
you're a
pleasure
hit and a
having you
half.
here. A hoot and a half. I like
Thanks for
that.
having
I
me.
like that. You stay well, because
That's what I said. Yeah,
Jennifer
I will
says,
do my best.
thanks for sending.
Thank you for
Now,
spending
now,
time with me.
now the
Yeah,
Lovedies want to make sure that they. Thanks for a great evening. Thank you, Natalie and Jim. You're very welcome, Kathy. They always close with the Lovedie, as I do too. And here we go. Christine and
I,
North Carolina, beautiful evening together. Enjoyed all the photos and video clips. Thanks for sharing your voice
thank you.
with the world. Lovedie,
Thank you.
Francis. Good night, Natalie. You have a great night, and thank you as
Thanks, you
well.
too.
It
Thank you
really
so
was
much.
very special. Thanks for all the time. And again, I hope we get a chance, once we're able to do it, to get together and break bread. I would love to do that. And it'd be a pleasure to do that,
Fun.
my friend. You
Yeah,
take
let's do
care.
it.
Yes, we
You
will.
too. Everybody stay well, okay? And those of you in the US, make sure you're registered and don't forget to vote.
Get out there and vote. And is there a NatalieDouglas.com website that they can go for more?
Yep, that's
Good.
it. Yeah, it's NatalieDouglas.com. And I also have a YouTube channel, Natalie
Yeah.
Douglas Music. And then, there's
All
Facebook
the
and Twitter and
usual
Instagram and all that.
suspect
Yeah.
places.
But you can get to those from NatalieDouglas.com.
Cool.
And I keep that up to date with all the gigs. So
Did you have a good time?
hopefully there'll be gigs again. I did. It's fun.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
so fun. Yes, you're with Lovedies. All of the Lovedies are really sweet. It's really nice to. And I've seen some friends that I haven't seen in a minute. Linwood Miller, who lives in Georgia, and Fern, who lives in Florida. I don't get to see them as often as I used to. I mean, these days we don't get to see them at all. So, it's a joy. Yay, Jennifer! I'm so glad.
Marianne
Well,
Lapinto. Too bad she's so shy.
very funny, Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm watching on
Marianne
YouTube.
lives in New York, so you get to see
Yes,
her
I
more
know.
often, but obviously not lately. So hi, sweetheart. Good to see you.
Such a treat. Both your luminous personality and your outstanding vocals.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
nice.
It's so lovely.
Very nice. Very nice. I know you're going to want to come back often just to be recharged with our show, right?
I know they're all so sweet. Everybody's so
Yeah.
kind.
That's the
It's
that's the
really
tone that I originally set. That's the way, I like it to be. Positive and have a good time and collaborate and love
well,
it. You
I
gotta be
there's a lot of
inspirational.
opportunities to be
Negative.
to deal with the realities of the
Yeah,
world, which are not
sure.
always pleasant.
Right.
But we also need to take the
It's got
chances,
to be
to
a
take the
balance. Yeah,
moments to find some balance.
absolutely. You have a good night. You stay
You
well.
too.
Good luck with everything.
Lots
Keep
of
me,
love.
you too
Thank
as well, and keep me posted on everything. You're welcome back anytime. And this was
you.
really a real pleasure, Natalie. Thanks for gracing us
Oh,
with your presence this evening.
I absolutely. Everybody take care. Love you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye bye. Wasn't that great? She's amazing. And thanks for all of the lovity as well. Everybody sending their lovity here. Good night. Great times. Great music. Great conversation. Again, I know you guys. Thank you, Fern, as well. And we appreciate that. Good night, all lovities. Special, delightful evening. I do want to share levity and positivity. Absolutely, Christine. I do want to also share with you some of the amazing people that are coming up tomorrow and throughout the week. Another legendary singer and performer, Christine Lavin, is going to be with us tomorrow night live. We're very excited about that. She's here for a very special episode of our show. That's tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in. She's all excited. She's going to perform. We got a whole bunch of great things lined up for you as we have built another great evening for you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So Christine Lavin is joining us tomorrow. Then, this is going to be cool. Renowned illusionist. And if you look closely at that picture, Don't you see his eyes and his mouth? This is John Ways. He's extraordinary. And he's going to be here. And guess what? He's going to get all of us, your host, me, and you guys, all the viewers around the world, Lovities, involved in some really cool things involving illusion. That is this Thursday evening. That's this Thursday evening on the Jim Masters Show. That's right. This Thursday evening's show isn't going to be an illusion. It's going to be the real deal. Yes, there he is again. Friday, Alison England, wonderful singer and actress. She's all excited. She's going to be joining us on Friday. Saturday, Clea Blackhurst. You saw her in some of those photos tonight with Natalie. Actress, singer, comedian, mermanologist, dear friend as well. She's here on Saturday. Then a special show live from Sweden. That's right. This is a brilliant musician and performer. And we're really excited to have him live from Sweden. Very popular in Scandinavia. John Magnusson. We have a very special show that we're doing earlier on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Live from Sweden, because it's going to be about 7 p.m. their time in Europe, and I believe in Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Finland, Norway, Sweden, all that whole area. It's going to be about 7 p.m. So all of the fans of this, their band, John's band, will be able to watch live, as well as everybody here in the United States and North America, South America, other parts of Europe. Canada, because it'll be 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. It'll be on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube, this particular episode, and that is this Sunday, live from Sweden. Really, really going to be fantastic. As mentioned, George Hutton, Irish pop star, lyric tenor, singer-songwriter, he's coming on November 8th for an afternoon show, and we just announced as well, legendary, renowned musician, songwriter, and prolific record producer Phil Coulter is coming. That's right, he is coming on our show on November 15th. Very exciting, very exciting. So stay tuned for that. That is extraordinary to have the legendary Phil Coulter joining us. He's excited to be here, to be a part of our show. I'm a fan of all of his material. He's a brilliant, brilliant, legendary, again, record producer, musician, songwriter, and so much more, and responsible for decades of incredible music. He's going to be live and direct from Ireland, as will be George Hutton. And John Magnusson is going to be live and performing. He's going to perform for us, too. They're going to be live and direct with his band on Sunday on YouTube as well. So, Christine Lavin tomorrow night, which is going to be wonderful. Illusionist John Ways on Thursday, singer-actress Alison England on Friday, Clea Blackhurst on Saturday, and live from Sweden, John Magnusson. That'll be on our YouTube channel, 1 p.m. Eastern on the Jim Masters Show Live. And Melissa Manchester is going to be with us too, so that'll be at an upcoming date, which we will announce. We're firming everything up, so we'll keep you posted on that as well. Really, really cool stuff. We, of course, always say, share the Lovity whenever you can around the world. That's right. It's really important, not just during these times, but all the time. Smile whenever you can. That's very important as well. Find your Zen place. Mine is always with loved ones, family, and friends. As well as working in my career and creating, cycling, tennis, the ocean is my go-to place as well. Find your Zen place as well. And some more comments coming in here. Good night, everyone. You too, Juanita in South Africa. Thanks for joining us, Bernadette. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, stay well. And good night, Jim, everyone. Perfect evening. Glad you enjoyed it. That's cool. Jen is Zen. Cool. Good night, Jim. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it. We put a lot of hard work into all these episodes. And as I mentioned, I'm balancing this with my professional work in television and radio, which is very busy right now. Thanks, Jim. That was phenomenal. My pleasure. My pleasure. Fun night. Now, of course, you want to see that your regulars are here, right? Lin Lin, the panda, is over there. I think on the weekend I'll bring Lin Lin back. You guys have been asking for Lin Lin, that huge panda that we got. It was really cool. George is here. George had a wonderful evening with all of you as well. One of our cast members here, George Burns, with a cigar. There he is. He's looking at all of you, smiling. Again, you guys, I know you love the characters, so here they are. And Jeannie's in the bottle, and she's saying goodnight to you as well. She had a wonderful time with all of you. Let's see, who else is here in our wonderful cast we have on the Jim Masters show. It's like our own cast party with the viewers around the world, our guests, me, and our cast of characters. Of course, direct from Europe, this is Silver, the lab, saying good night to all of you as well. And I know you guys look for the other. Every once in a while, you should clown around. And Jimmy does that all the time. So Jimmy says goodnight to all of you as well. There he goes. Look at that face, huh? And of course, again, Lin Lin the Panda's over there. We'll bring Lin Lin back on the weekends. You guys have been asking for Lin Lin. Gilligan is here as well. And Gilligan says good night and thanks for watching. And he will see you tomorrow. Thanks, gang. A pleasure as always. Appreciate you joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live. If this is your first taste of what we do here, we have a good time. And we love to have great guests. We love to have all this interaction with our viewers around the world. We like to have fun moments, surprise moments, inspiration, engagement, good conversation, lots of entertainment, and all kinds of different things we do along the way. We're going to be doing some more on location too. A lot of people have been asking. They love, in the early months of doing our series, I was out on location a lot, took you to some cool places. We're going to be doing more of that too. I know you guys want food, so we have some really cool food segments coming up too. And a bevy of amazing guests from a wealth of different pursuits. Not just all one kind of industry. And that's what I love about doing a talk show like this, an entertainment lifestyle talk show, because we hit upon so many different topics, not just one genre of life, not just music, not just entertainment, not just this or that. Something for everybody. And viewers are, I'm getting letters and notes from viewers all around the world. They're really enjoying the variety that we have on the show. And the amount of time we spend with all of you, interacting with the lovities, and also the depth of the show and the vibe of the show, and the multidisciplinary episodes, you might say, as far as just something for everybody. It's the bottom line, something for everybody, and that's what I like. That's why it's not boring. It's not the same old, same old. I mean, I don't even look the same every night either. Everything's different. Just the set, and even that has been tweaked from time to time. Little things, little nuances. We're already thinking about what we're going to do for the holidays coming up. That should be real cool. Hopefully we can do some on location stuff with the holidays coming up as well. All right, gang, we got a wrap. We are about 30 seconds away from 10 at night, and that is a long one. Exceptional evening with Natalie. Good night, Jim and Lovelies. You too, Christine. We haven't done Viewer of the Week, so that will be coming soon. We've just been so busy putting these shows together, so busy with the professional work and so busy doing the shows. We're just going to hold out on that for a little bit longer, and but it will come soon. Good night, everyone. Looking forward to seeing all of you again. You as well, Francis. Make sure you watch it in the archives on YouTube. You're going to love this episode. A lot of music, a lot of comedy, a lot of great deep conversations. Good night, Juanita, to you as well. We're, yeah, bed for us too soon. Just catching up on the news. I don't know, should I? I work in the industry, but I don't know. Should I catch up on the news? Anything big happen? Rather not know, I think. Good night, Jim, and everyone. Perfect evening. Thank you, Ann. We appreciate that as well. All right, gang, we're going to wrap up. You as well, Ralph. Thanks for everything, too. In Indiana, you have a wonderful night. You have a good sleep. Don't trip over the cat, Jennifer, in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You take care. And again, if you missed the episode, everybody, you can watch it on YouTube. Share it. Share it with everybody. Share the links. Give some love to that YouTube channel. We're building that. And we're also building another platform. We've got a lot of cool things that we're working on here at the show. All right. I've run out of words, and that's rare. So you guys have a good night. You guys take care. Be well. And have a good day. For those in Australia. You got it. We will. Good night, all. Please be safe. Colorado, good night as well, Jennifer, and all the lovedies. Good stuff. Good stuff. And don't forget, one more thing we do. Relax. Take care of one another. Breathe. Love one another. And love yourself. You know, take care of yourself as much as you might be somebody who takes care, you know, as much as you can yourself. So take care. Take care. Love you guys. All right. Have a good night. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Soraya, as well to you. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure when we get a chance to chat with all of you and have a good time together. We also thank our dear friends at LMG, Lampkin Music Group, for all of their love and support and time and attention. We love them very much as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to the team at LMG. We love all of you. So we're going to wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. Good night, everybody. Take care. I know you guys are writing I should have some cherry pie. I should have some ice cream. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Francis. Appreciate that. You guys have a good night. Thanks for the compliments on the jacket. Glad you guys like it. I don't know if you can really... I know it's the lighting. There's the design there. There you go. I think you can see the design in it now. That's what... There you go. The light brightened a little for you. So that's the design of the jacket. Kind of like it too, you know. See if I can come in close. Kind of cool, isn't it? It's really nice. It's very comfortable. And again, I've worn this for events at MGM that I've hosted, and I've worn this a couple of times when appropriate. I have clothes, I call it, I dress show appropriate. I change everything based on the topic and the theme, and I've done that in my professional work too. I change the look and the wardrobe, the hair, the look, the style. I've got like 50,000 different looks and styles and those based on what the content is, what the project is, what the show is, what it is I'm tasked to do. So I don't always look the same all the time. And that is par for the course. I get bored too sometimes. I like to change things up anyway. But being in this industry, I get a chance to do that a lot based on the project I'm working on. Sometimes I don't have this. Sometimes they're really short. Sometimes it's that way, that way, that way, that way. Sometimes it's lighter. Good stuff. Love the jacket. So fashionable. Thank you very much. Christine and Soraya, thank you very much. Love your jacket, Jim's very cool. Cute. Thank you very much. I love the shirt too. Yeah, it's actually a turtleneck. It's turtleneck. And Natalie and I were teasing each other. The turtleneck matched her lipstick. She got the memo. Go to sleep, Jim. Have nice dreams. See you tomorrow night. You too, Jennifer Barry in Allentown. That's awesome, Jim. You're awesome. Thank you very much, Jennifer. You are too. Love the color. Fancy. Thanks, Claudia. Appreciate that. Jennifer. Yes, love the combo. Gorgeous jacket. That's a great shot. Is that you on the horse? That's a great shot, Jennifer. I like your profile photo as well. Hope you have a good night. You too, Claudia in Missouri, USA. Yeah, the turtleneck goes with the jacket. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, gang. That's a wrap. All right. If you notice, even the font color for where it says Jim Masters matches sort of the turtleneck and Natalie's lipstick. See, we do a lot of hard work here at the show. That's you. Great shot of you on the horse. Really, really nice. Well, we are going to pony on out of here right now. Pony on up, I think. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, gang? Thanks for being with us. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Oh, my God. Whew. What a fantastic show, wasn't it? Really good. Really good. You can see it again on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. And subscribe to the channel. We would love, love, love that. Toodles to you, too. Old school word, but a good one. I love it. The purple light, too. Yeah, sort of back there, right? Yeah. You got it, gang. And the light behind you. On the wall. All right, gang. We'll see you tomorrow, all right? Take care. Thanks for being with us on the Jim Masters Show Live. Good night. Toodles. Like Jennifer said in Colorado, toodles. See you tomorrow. I think we've covered everything, right? We did everything. Good night.